Boys and girls, how are we doing? Hello and welcome to the pre-stream stream. This is where the cool kids hang. Look at that beautiful specimen behind me. We've only got the Born shirts in. That's a bit loud. Thank you for the sub, Fleming. 33 months. Goodness me. We've only got the Born shirts, boys and girls. They're all behind me. If you ordered a Born shirt, they should be with you anytime now. Today, tomorrow. If you're abroad, probably a little bit longer. Breezy, thank you for the 8 months. And if you missed out on ordering one, Thursday night for the charity stream, boys and girls. I've messed it up in the bag there. Thursday night, we're doing the War Child charity stream. Whoever donates the most gets that. That's not all. If you've seen on Twitter today, because we're doing the War Child charity stream, might have mentioned it. I've been mentioning it a lot tonight. 7 o'clock on Thursday, doing a stream for War Child. We're actually going to be managing War Child FC for 3 hours, which is a created club wearing the War Child kits with a £750 million budget and no players. So it's going to be a massive 3-hour transfer special where I try and build a team. I don't even know what league they're in. But talking of the War Child kits, got this to give away. Do you remember when FM21 came out and all the creators got sent the purple shirts and they were being given away on FMFC thing? Well, this is the new version of it. This is the away FMFC kit, which is in conjunction with War Child and TikTok. You might have seen them over social media. It's a limited edition. Only 500 of these have been produced. I've bought one, which isn't here yet, but they've sent me a second one to give away to one of you lot. So in the stream on Thursday night, one of you will be winning the FMFC away kit, which is awesome. It's got the TikTok logo on the side if you want to get down with the kids, but it's a really, really nice shirt. And it's got Football Manager on the back as well. Really proper Football Manager merch. Limited edition, 500 of them. Comes in a sexy box as well. The sexy box is awesome. You can use that to keep your crayons in. So yeah, that'll be given away in Thursday night's stream. So chance for 2 shirts on Thursday. This one will get. This is the Born third choice kit, which is beautiful. This will be going to whoever donates the highest amount to War Child during the stream. The War Child link is active now if you want to get in early. And that one, I'm going to give that away randomly to somebody who's in the stream when we hit the donation target. So could happen at any point during the stream. You want to make sure you're here to watch it, because it will just be a random giveaway at a moment that we won't know in advance during Thursday night stream. No, it's not a 24-hour stream, just a normal sort of 3 or 4 hour stream. But we're going to try and raise as much money as we can for War Child, because they are doing their Sporting Champions campaign, which starts tomorrow, I think. We're one of the launch streams for it. We're going to be on the front page of Twitch at 7 o'clock on Thursday. Apparently, we've got an hour on the front page of Twitch between 7 and 8 p.m. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to raise a whole load of money for War Child. So come and get involved. What you're doing 24 hours. I'm far too old for 24-hour streams now. You'll never get another 24-hour stream out of me. And you certainly wouldn't get one on a weekday. Goodness me. How are we all doing anyway? I feel like I've done a lot of the word I want to use is pimping. I've done a lot of pimping stuff out there in the pre-stream stream. Normally we just have a chat, but I had things to tell you all about. Did I miss a sub come in? I feel like I missed the sub. No, I don't think I did. Thoughts on Arsenal losing to Hibernian. The day I care about a pre-season friendly will be a sad day indeed. I don't even know how Posh get on in pre-season friendlies. I certainly couldn't care less how Arsenal get on in pre-season friendlies. Do Premier League football fans actually care about what happens in pre-season friendlies? Posh played Bedford in a friendly at the weekend. I don't even know what the score was. It's irrelevant to me. It's just for fitness, isn't it? Right, how are we doing in the chat? The shirt is amazing. Both shirts are amazing. First season Champions League, Real Madrid, Porto, Galatasaray. Nice. Smash Bedford. Moisa scored 2. Posh won 8-0. Oh, there you go then. Is Jamie the editor able to continue the edits? He's continuing them so far. we'll just have to see how things pan out. At the moment, the videos are getting well supported. If it gets, basically, I think I've explained before how the YouTube algorithm works, but really briefly, because we should be starting the stream. Should we start the stream while I explain this? Really briefly, the YouTube algorithm, if you have videos that massively underperform, it will affect the next video that comes out. So when the algorithm is deciding how hard to push a video when it's released, it will look at the last half a dozen videos that have been released on the channel to see how popular they were. So if I put duds on the channel, then it'll make everything suffer. It's one of the reasons why we had to do a separate channel for this full stream replays, because if we put them on the main channel, then it would damage all of the series. So for as long as it's getting supported, then the stream highlights will continue. And if it goes on long enough for them to actually earn any decent kind of money, then we'll obviously be able to start paying Jamie and we'll be able to continue. I forgot we scouted Raquel Pike. Keep scouting. Love this man. We take over the loan. We can't because it's not in the transfer window. Plus he's at Dejanam and probably wouldn't want to come to us. So yeah, we'll just have to see. If you keep watching the highlights videos, we'll keep making them. Thoughts on FIFA 22? Just FIFA, innit? I'll play it. I'll play a lot of it probably. I'll stream a lot of it in sort of October going into November time. So between FIFA 22 coming out and FM22 coming out, I'll be mainly doing FIFA, I imagine, on Twitch like I did last year. Have I ever thought of using Donnarumma in the Streamer Showdown? I taught Donnarumma everything he knows. Kev, check your formation. I know. We've got the Ring of Fire, haven't we? If you weren't in at the end of the last stream, I don't think this has hit YouTube yet. It looks a little bit like a love heart. I don't think this has hit YouTube yet, but if you weren't in at the end of the last stream, we have been really struggling. As you can see, we're down in 19th place. It's our first season in the save, first season. We're on 21 points after 18 games. We are struggling, but we just played Bamber Bridge in the Fat Cup, and this was the shape of that game. We were 2-0 down. We played our 3-4-3, which we've used a few times. I thought it was a genius using this because I thought it was working, and it didn't. So we got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the end, and I just thought, let's just do something silly and see what happens. And we switched to what we dubbed the Ring of Fire. A back five, a front five, and midfields are for losers, and we all know it. And as you can see, we went on to score 4 second-half goals and got through to the next round of the Fat Cup. The problem is with using that as a judge of if the tactic works. Bamber Bridge are even worse than we are. They're 23rd in the league. So we should have beaten Bamber Bridge. All we really learned is that the 3-4-3 is absolute bobbins because we were going to lose if we played that. So the 3-4-3 didn't work, and they got shocked by the Ring of Fire. But Spennymoor, who we play next, are a mid-table side. They're a better team than we are. We're going to try the Ring of Fire from the start, and we'll see what happens. If we get absolutely battered, you'll probably never see it again. But we'll try it for now, and we'll see what happens. So Ring of Fire is coming up, boys and girls. I'm just going to check that the charity link does work. We need to get this up and running ready for Thursday. We can't be experimenting with this stuff at the start of Thursday's stream because we'll be on the front page of Twitch by now. The charity thing didn't start. There you go. War Child is what you want. So exclamation mark War Child if you want to get an early donation in to get in pole position for the Bourne shirt. We've come a long way from, of course, I'm using a 4-4-2. I know. I mean, we might end up back with a 4-4-2 eventually, but for now, we're going to give this a try. Let's face it, nothing was really working. This is alarming. Oh, God. The thing is, we've got some very good strikers, some very good defenders, some very good wide players. We don't really have any good midfield players. So logic tells me that it's the system for us to make him a libero. We probably won't make him a libero. What's the worst that could happen, eh? What is the worst that could happen? We're playing a wing play system as well. So we're going to take advantage of these wide areas. We're pretty direct. So my theory is the back three are effectively going to defend. It's effectively a back five. They're going to defend as a 5. They're going to win the ball back because they're going to outnumber the opposition back here. And then they're just going to launch it forward into these wide areas. We're focusing the play down the wide areas and playing direct. So these 5 are just going to launch it forward to these 2. And then whichever one of these 2 ends up with the ball, they can cross into 3 targets in the middle. So there is a method to the madness. We're playing in tier 6. Do we really need a midfield? Especially when it wasn't really working anyway. Martin, thank you very much for 15 months. Love your YouTube content. Thought I'd check out your stream. Thank you very much. Welcome along. Don't give Southgate ideas. Look, Gareth Southgate is genius, and I won't have anybody tell me otherwise. Sir Gareth Southgate. He's the best England manager we've ever had. And that, it might sound like I'm being sarcastic. Genuinely not being sarcastic. I think the man has worked wonders. I think there's a lot of Premier League fanboys who were expecting us to go and win the thing. I think if you actually look at it as an outsider looking in, this squad isn't as good as the squad that we had 10 years ago. And we've massively overperformed from where we were then. We've got a lot of talented youngsters, but this is no Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham, Ferdinand, Campbell, Cole. You know, it's not that group of players. We've got a lot of young talent, and the fanboys will be all over it because they watch them week in, week out. But if you're telling me Mason Mount is as good as Frank Lampard right now, you're just telling me you don't know anything about football, you silly goose. That was 11 players. This is a team, which is exactly my point. Who makes it a team? The manager. The manager's a genius. The group of players, not as good as we've had in the past. The manager makes it the best team we've had. Right, shall we try this out then? That's all I want to say about the football, I think. We overperformed. Well done, England. Congratulations. We'll go one better next time. I've got to see how this works out. I can't wait any longer. I've got to see the Ring of Fire in action. As a Scot, I don't think it's better than the squad or manager from Italia 90. I mean, I was young in Italia 90. I was only 8 when Italia 90 happened. I think there was a lot of average players in that team. I think our better players were probably better. Like our best players in 1990 were probably better than our best players now. I think our worst players now are better than our worst players then. And I think time will show that Southgate is a better England manager than Bobby Robson was. He's certainly achieved more already. What manager would be the perfect England manager? Gareth Southgate. Wouldn't swap him for anyone in world football. Genuinely wouldn't swap him for anybody. I think he's doing everything exactly right. Even the penalty takers, which I know he's got a lot of stick for. Even I was disappointed and had my little why couldn't Henderson have taken a penalty moan. But having heard Southgate speak about it afterwards, he had his reasons for picking those 5. And like he said about a lot of the risky decisions he made during the tournament, he had his reasons for picking those 5. And if it had have come off, he's a genius. That late substitution, if it works, he's a genius. It just didn't work. Everything else he tried all tournament did. Well, well, well. We're still not losing. This is interesting. We're not winning yet either, but I did expect us to be behind by now. We're not actually getting completely overloaded in midfield either, because our central striker is dropping back into midfield and the wide players are sort of cutting in there as well. It's actually not disastrous. This is a problem. It's just been cleared to nobody at all in there. That's the first time I've really noticed we don't have a midfield. Yeah, that was a problem. We have a much more balanced squad if subs come on 10 years ago. With like Yeah, but we're talking about the team, not the subs, not the squad. I think if Southgate was manager 10, 15 years ago, we win something with that group of players. Because I tell you what he wouldn't do, and I think he's shown that this tournament, not a chance would he have played Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes together in the same midfield. He'd have picked one of them and stuck them in there with 2 holding players, and it would have worked. And that's what nobody had the balls to do at the time. Which one do you pick? Scholes, probably. Maybe Gerrard. I mean, you don't have to pick a permanent one, do you? You just pick whichever one you like the look of at the time, I suppose. Speaking of picking one midfielder, I know. Maybe this doesn't work in the league, eh? According to the Burks at Talksport, the only English manager that could do a better job is Steve Bruce. According to them, he's second. Oh, goodness me. Did England have any quality sitting midfielders 15 years ago? I mean, you could argue we probably did have them with the caliber of someone like Calvin Phillips. I think the difference 15 years ago is a player like Calvin Phillips doesn't get a look in. Yeah, Carrick is a shout. Owen Hargreaves was about when he was fit, wasn't he? Gareth Barry was about. Who else did we have? There was probably plenty of people at the... I mean, Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips aren't exactly superstar players, are they? They're both players from mid-table teams. So there was probably plenty scattered around the mid-table of the Premier League that could have been called up, but never were because they weren't superstars. Beckham could have done it. Why would you get Beckham to do it? That's where England went wrong 10, 15 years ago. I'm sure he could have a go at it, but why not just play him in his actual position? Yeah, Scott Parker could have done it. Absolutely, Scott Parker could have done it. But yeah, I think that's the big difference now. He's not afraid to pick players from the smaller clubs. Leeds and West Ham fans will both love that. Smaller clubs? Yes, you know you are. What was Beckham's actual position? To me, Beckham was only ever any good on the right-hand side of a midfield 4. You put him anywhere else and he just got a little bit too in the way. Put him on the right-hand side of a 4. That was where Beckham hung out. He was in the way everywhere else. Let's face it, that's where Fergie played him. And Fergie probably knew better than any of the other jokers he played for. Right, this isn't working, is it? I mean, we're going to keep it for the rest of the game. There's no point changing it now. We may as well just see it out. We won't use it again. Back to the 4-4-2 for the next match. Smaller clubs, you already sound like an Arsenal supporter. I mean, West Ham and Leeds are smaller than Manchester City and Manchester United and Tottenham. Oh dear. If I'm sticking Beckham on the right side of a 4 in England, I'm playing 4-1-4 because I feel like Gareth Barry has to be in there. Counterbalance Gerrard and Lampard. Gerrard and Lampard aren't in there together. Too similar. That was always the problem. I love the fact that we've just lost in the final of the Euros and our solution is to try and solve England from 15 years ago. That's why you lot are top tier stream chat. We're on top of current affairs at all times. Leeds, that's more than Tottenham. Ah, we've got a Leeds fan in. Welcome along. How are you doing? Leeds are bigger than Man City and Spurs. Welcome along, Leeds fans. I love football fans' twisted definitions of what's bigger. Just compare trophy cabinets. So I guess on that basis, you could argue they're probably bigger than Spurs. They've probably won something more recently than Spurs have. James Milner could play the DM. Maybe. I always saw him as more of a box-to-box midfielder. As a German, I feel for England. We had the kind of the same 2006, and it took us until 2014 to do it. I think if this England team, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all if it took us that long. You're all going to love this bit, because it might be that it really, really clicks for this group of young players when the next striker comes along. Maybe we have to wait for Harry Kane to be done and whoever's next. And I don't think they necessarily exist yet. They probably exist. We just don't necessarily know where they are. But when the next one comes along, everyone is Kane hate train. I mean, I'm just going to call you a moron, because you know I'm not hate, and you know I don't hate Harry Kane. I thought he was excellent in the first half of the final. I thought he really played well in the semi-final. I still don't think he fits in that England team. I think you need a pacey striker to play the way that England want to play. What we need is Jamie Vardy from 5 years ago, playing in this system. No, I'm not saying Jamie Vardy's a better striker than Harry Kane. That's how you're hearing that. You're dumb. Because that's clearly not what I'm saying. But I think that's the kind of striker you need in this system. Right, we are switching back to the counter-attacking 4-4-2 that we were using. The Ring of Fire didn't work. Who are we playing? Geisley. They were 21st. See, this is a team we should be able to beat. Watkins. Maybe? Ings? Danny Ings is old, isn't he? Not like old, but probably too old to be the answer now. How old is Danny Ings? He is... yeah, he's 28. You don't really want him to be the answer, because if he's the answer, he's not the answer for very long, is he? Is Kev suggesting Ivan Toney? I would love Ivan Toney to be the answer, but Ivan Toney's not the right kind of striker either. Ivan Toney's not a pacey front man. So I don't think he's the answer either. We need prime Dwight Gale. We need Craig McCall-Smith at his best. He'd be the one. Or, I mean, Jack Marriott. He'll have a great season for Posh in the Championship now. He'll lead us to promotion. Posh will be in the Premier League in time for the World Cup with Jack Marriott as top scorer. And Jack Marriott's exactly the kind of striker. I am not being serious. Well, he's the right kind of striker. Obviously not enough quality, but that kind of striker. Mason Greenwood. I've not seen enough of Mason Greenwood to know if he's the answer. Wasn't Craig McCall-Smith Scottish? I mean, he played for Scotland. He absolutely wasn't Scottish. You ever heard the man speak? I imagine he had a granddad, McHale, who qualified him to play for Scotland. Definitely not Scottish. I've put Ivan Toney in my FPL team based on what Kev's saying about him. He's in mine as well. Yeah, he's in mine as well. I'm still expecting him to sign for Spurs when Kane leaves. Right, so we're back to the 4-4-2. It's so boring. but we're so rubbish. We are awful. Let's just have a look at the formations on here. I've so rarely changed this. I can't even remember what buttons to press. It's in here, isn't it? Formation. Why can't I see it? Did I not just add formation to this? Formation. Right. So the Ring of Fire has been referred to as the 5-5 wing back wide. I like it. I like that very much. So we lost with that. The 3-4-3. We didn't win until we switched to that. We did win with the 4-2-4 wide. Did we play it? Oh, that's interesting. It tells us what we played and when. So after 4 minutes, we changed to the 3-4-3. Why did we do that? Did we concede a goal? Is that right? Is that what that means? I'm not sure what the times on there mean. So I'm assuming, looking at the fact we did the 3-4-3 the next game, I'm guessing we started with the 4-2-4. It didn't work, and we then switched to the 3-4-3 and then scored 3 goals in the last 15 minutes to win the game. So I'm guessing that's what happened there. 4-4-2, the one we've just switched to now, we lost 4 games in a row. But then we did win 2 games in a row with it there. We won with it again there, but they were against teams in the FA Cup. I mean, ultimately, we're just not very good, I don't think. Team report. Is it here? Which is the one that tells you about which formations are working? Formations. So formations used. So we've used it more than anything. So we get a chance every 69 minutes, chance against every 100. That gives us a chance every 33 and a chance against every 72. So that one, we create chances far more often, but we also give them up more often. The 3-4-3, again, we create much more chances. That one, I mean, that suggests that what we've just seen is a freak result, because we only give away a chance every 122 minutes playing the 5-5, but we conceded 3 goals. Have we been too harsh on it? No. Have we been too harsh on it? 34 shots against. Oh dear. We're just going to do the 4-4-2 for now. And see what happens. Time for a 4-2-3-1 gegenpress. Not at this level, it's not. I mean, we could try it. I don't know that. I don't think it'll work at this level. If we put a DLP as DM, unless it wouldn't be that bad, but then it would be a completely different system, wouldn't it? Nix is saying do this. Right, we're going to do something different for next game. If in doubt, do the opposite of what Nix says, because... Oh, this is pathetic. We're changing it already. It's just... I feel pathetic. I would rather lose 5-0, but actually be trying, rather than just being pathetic. It's pathetic. There we go. Doesn't matter that it was disallowed. I felt pathetic, and I don't want to feel pathetic. I want to feel like a real boy. Right, come on. Demand more. This is a team we should be beating. Oh, that's some lovely football. See, that should have been a goal. That's very frustrating. We should have scored there. Why order? How are we not scoring that? What is going on? Come on, boys and girls. Let's do a football. Let's go and taste fennel. He still hasn't recovered from me tasting him when he arrived. Yes! My thought's always been, if you don't concede, you can't lose, no matter how poor the attack is. Yeah, that's called boring. You also can't be mugged if you don't go out, but it's not a reason to stay at home, is it? Boom. Kev'd. You just got kev'd. I'm not saying 4-2-3-1 doesn't work at this level. I'm saying a gegenpress won't work at this level. We can try some kind of 4-2-3-1 variation, but a gegenpress, when you train 2 evenings a week, is just going to destroy them. We don't have the fitness to do a gegenpress. Oh my God. See, we could be playing a flat back 8 and there's no stopping that happen. We're just rubbish. Got hair in my mouth. Watch this again with some circus music over the top. Yeah, I haven't got any circus music to hand. It's like the goal England conceded in the final. You need them high stamina players. Yeah, but they don't exist at this level. Still a hair on my tongue. It's very upsetting. There it is. There it is. That looks a lot like a dog hair. Unless I've got some really long white hairs now, which I don't think I do. I've just seen how shiny my head is. Just bear with me a moment. Oh. If I was blocked on Twitter last night, I'm unsure as to why I was blocked. I don't know, you probably did something to deserve being blocked. I don't remember specifically. I blocked a lot of people yesterday. Are you a COVID denier? Because you would have got blocked for that. Or did you keep going on about the football when I told people to stop? That would have got you blocked as well. Have you said anything racist recently? Because I might have blocked that. I just commented a Scotland flag. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. When I've told people to stop trolling, and you come in with a Scotland flag. Yeah, that would have done it. I'll consider unblocking. That might have been a little harsh on my part. I blocked a lot of people yesterday because there was a lot of people being wangs. Why is that? It's not a bit far at all. I've told people to stop trolling and they troll me. They get blocked for it. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and I'll try. I don't actually know how to unblock on Twitter. I assume I can just go to your profile and unblock you. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Just don't troll me again. Right. Come on, we're winning here. There you go, I've unblocked you. I'm a generous man. You've caught me in a good mood. Meanwhile, we're scoring goals. Saw the video earlier. How's Andy today? And also you're a monster for the Clark story. Andy's all right today. He did go back to school. Yeah, he just doesn't like Mondays. He's turning into Garfield as he gets older. I want to know how is their COVID deniers still around. Just more the, like, if I post anything about wearing a mask. It's not necessarily COVID deniers. It's more the amount of times, and I don't even know what this means. It's such a dense thing for people to say. The amount of times I've had the phrase face nappy used against me. Get your face nappy off. What does that even mean, you cretin? That's just an instant block because I just can't cope with thickos. If I want to wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. If I want to wear a hat, I'll wear a hat. If I want to wear gloves or shoes or a bra or suspenders, I'll wear them. If you're going to tell me what I can and can't wear, you can do one. You're getting blocked. Alfie, thank you very much for 8 months. If you want to wear shoes, you'll need some shoe polish and a handbag. Exactly. Or you're going on Gary's sales. We're absolutely thumping them now. We've switched to a proper tactic. Fisher's scored 4 goals. This is lovely stuff. We haven't got any central. This might be why we went to the other system. We don't really have a third central midfielder, which is a little bit troublesome when I want to change one now. But I guess we'll pick our battles. We're doing really rather well, so we can probably be all right. Probably never wear suspenders in public or on social media. I seriously doubt Anna would let you do that. She probably would. Probably encourage it. Plus, suspenders are something different in the UK anyway. I think. No, that's braces, isn't it? It's braces that are different. Suspenders are always just the thing that hold up your stockings, aren't they? When I said suspenders, I was thinking of braces. But yeah, I could wear suspenders if I wanted to. Why not? Think of the money you'd raise for War Child if you started Thursday streaming a bra and suspenders. I mean, I'm up for it. I'll do that. Oh, now Fisher's injured. He's pulled his wrist ligaments. I mean, that's ridiculous. Oh, I've pulled my wrist ligaments. You're playing football. Who cares? Cut it off. It won't affect your game in the slightest. Wrist ligaments. Wrists don't even have ligaments. When is the hot tub stream? When it's hot, because it's a paddling pool stream, not a hot tub stream. I don't own a hot tub. I own a paddling pool. So it'll basically be on a day when I've got the paddling pool out anyway, and it won't be a full stream. It'll be like 5 minutes, because it's one of those things where you think you want me to do a hot tub stream until you actually see the hot tub stream and you realize it's literally just me sat in a paddling pool with bad lighting, terrible audio, not playing Football Manager because I can't take a computer out there. And it's like, well, I'm just sitting here. I can see the chat on my phone. So I'll be looking at my phone. So I'll be looking at the chat on my phone. So it'll be me sat in a paddling pool with my phone, terrible audio and terrible lighting, because it'll be in the evening and the sun will have started going down. And I'm not setting up lamps and stuff out there. So it will be funny for the first couple of minutes. We'll all chuckle. But you don't want 3 hours of that. Oh dear. Even if you're planning to knock one out to me doing it, it shouldn't take you 3 hours. How do you pull wrist ligaments playing association football? Thanks for clarifying which football. I imagine he fell over. The hot tub stream should be turned into a subathon. Only ends when the subs stop coming in. No, because you lot are sadistic and you'll have me sat out there all night. I'll freeze. You could connect your desktop via Steam stream from tablet, for example. Yeah, I'm not going to. Because then how do I connect to OBS? It's all well and good. I could play FM out there, but how do I then stream that back again? Oh, it's too it's too complicated. Far too complicated. Well, we scored. This is what I want. I'd much rather win 5-3 than win 1-0. I'd much rather lose 5-3 than win 1-0. At least then we've put on a show. We're giving people their money's worth. This is like old school posh. We'll outscore you. Exactly. It's how all football should be played. Much better. Ev's the only person I've ever heard who'd rather lose than win, depending on the outcome. Well, you've not been listening to people then, because lots of people would rather play well and lose. It's the whole principle behind teams playing attractive football. They'd rather play well and lose than grind out a result. Because otherwise everyone would just play super defensively and avoid losing. Most is not fair. A lot of teams, a lot of managers play to win. And in order to play to win, you have to accept that sometimes you'll lose. So from now on, we play to win. How can you praise Southgate but then hate defensive football? Because I wouldn't do what Southgate's doing. That's why I'd be a bad England manager. What he's doing is absolutely perfect for winning a tournament. If you think about it, it's kind of what I do in the Streamer Showdown. I play a slightly more attackingly experimental version of it than he does. I'm not quite to his extreme, but I play more solidly defensively than anyone else in the Showdown. I build from the back with the players that I draft in. My best players are usually defenders. We play defensively solid with pacey counter-attacks. That's how you win tournaments. But I wouldn't want to do it for an entire season because it would be boring. England would have won with Pedro playing. Exactly. That's the one mistake Southgate makes. He doesn't draft players. He doesn't pick players based on their jawline. I've noticed there's no really strong jawlines in that team. I mean, who's your strongest jawline? You can't even think of one. You're racking your brains now, aren't you? Who has got the strongest jawline? My word, he's right. I think it probably is Harry Maguire. But he's not known for his jaw, is he? When your strongest jawline is known for a different part of his head, that means you're not drafted enough jawlines. Kane's quite well jawed. If he was that well jawed, he'd have a shave. A man with a proper jawline would never have that fluffy nonsense on his face that Harry Kane has got. Get that man a razor. Have a proper shave if you've got a good jaw. Yeah, we need more jawlines. That's where it's all gone wrong. Right, Brad Abbott can only play a half. We need a midfielder on the bench, but he's also injured. We're going to have to get him on there. They're going to play a half each, even though they're both injured. Have we got a midfield? We haven't got any under 23s, have we? It's going to have to be him. We actually don't have another midfield player. And we are so far over our wage budget as well. This is troublesome. Good attacking players are also a diamond, doesn't it? Feels like in FM. Always feel like there are only a few good defensive options. Exactly. The key to the showdown is getting Virgil van Dijk. Or an equivalent. It's been shown gazillions of times. You don't win the showdown by drafting Messi or Ronaldo. But if you get the right defenders or midfielders, then you've got a chance. Even the right goalkeeper can be instrumental in a victory. The rest of the world is finally waking up to my boy Donnarumma. I've been telling you all about for years. You got any advice for a club which is back-to-back promotion from League One to Prem, worst team in the league? Just spend the money to get back up again next year. I know it's not the most. What's the word I'm looking for? It's probably not the advice you want to hear. It's not going to keep you up this year, but you've probably got promoted faster than you should have done. So just enjoy. Enjoy the experience. Take your relegation. and you're going to have a massive amount of money to spend in the championship next year. So when you come back up again, you'll have a much better chance of staying up. And you never know, you might just, like Heretic has said, you might just stay up with your momentum from getting promoted. But I wouldn't be too. I would imagine if you've done back-to-back promotions, your board will be asking you to fight bravely against relegation. So what that means is they're not going to sack you if you get relegated. They're expecting you to get relegated. It doesn't matter if you do. So don't fill your team with journeymen who might just keep you up. Start building your championship promotion team now. And if you get really lucky, they might be good enough to keep you up this year. But if nothing else, they'll be so good at bringing you up the year after. We've just won a penalty. Currently 16, 4 points above the drop. Well, then you're doing really well. I would just keep doing what you're doing. Start my first FM21 save using the tier 10 database with hashtag and tier 10 Harry Honesty is a great striker, quick and good technicals. Lovely, lovely, lovely. The other thing, of course, is I forgot what I was going to say. It was going back to staying in the Premier League. If you end up finishing, what I was going to say is if you finish 16th or 17th this year, then that's massive. Don't be expecting to be challenging for Europe straight away. With home, it's taken us nearly 10 years in the Premier League to get to the point where we're challenging for the title. It is, people talk about the big jump between like League One and the Championship to Premier League. The biggest jump on a road to glory is going from mid-table in the Premier League to winning the Premier League. That is the hardest gap to get over. I'm 3 seasons into the Premier League after back-to-back promotion from League 2. Finished in the top half each season. My board still only want me to fight bravely against relegation. There you go then. You're laughing. Fennel, very nearly again. I don't get why others don't build from the back. A strong back line really helps when you need to win every single match. Exactly. Born last year didn't take that long to win the Premier League. Was it like 5 or 6? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll have to get a historian to have a little look. I mean, with Bourne, we really, really lucked out. That's what I mean about sign good young players who will bring you back up as champions from the Championship. And if you get really lucky, you'll get a superstar. We got really, really lucky with Bourne because we got 2. We got Serna, Jackie and Gomez that first year in the Premier League for less than 5 million each, I think they were. Absolute bargains. Who, I mean, we just got really, really lucky with him. Serna Jackie was still in the team when we won the Champions League. Gomez won the Golden Boot 3 years in a row. We were super, super lucky with that first transfer window in the Premier League. And I think we were less so with home. There's nobody in the current home squad who was in the team when we got promoted to the Premier League. There's not even anyone. I think the only one from that first promotion season, even Fazikas might have been the second season we were in the Premier League, but he'd be the only one that's still there. We didn't get that superstar come in early on with home, whereas we did twice over with Bourne last year. Alex Williams doesn't really count. He's not what I mean. I mean, he's still there, but I'm talking about players we brought in once we got Premier League money and got lucky with. And I don't think we really had a player like that this year. The closest we've had is Park. But Park was 4 or 5 seasons into being in the Premier League. I guess Park and Veloso were both really cheap. But they came much later. Whereas if we'd have looked into them a little bit earlier, who knows where we'd be now. Question, if you're trying to transfer out a player and 2 teams are interested, is there anything you do to get them to make a decision quicker? They've been interested for over a month now and I need the player for my wage budget. All you can really do is stick them on the transfer list and offer them out. But there's no guarantees they're going to make an offer. Unfortunately, it is pretty difficult to force the AI to make an offer. What I would do is probably offer them out relatively, I mean, don't go straight away offering them out really cheap, but offer them out at their value with them on the transfer list. If there's no takers, offer them out for 3/4 of their value, offer them out for half of their value. Keep laddering down until you finally get an offer. And then once you get an offer, that's when you start trying to get a bidding war going and you start laddering back up again. So say they're worth 10 million and you're getting no takers when you offer them out for 8, offer them out for 6. You might start getting offers at 4 million. If you get an offer for them at 4 million and there's more than one club interested, that's when you accept the offer at 4 million and now you offer them back out for 7. And because there's now and that's them forcing clubs into making a decision. And you might get someone to offer 7 then, and then you can offer them out for 10. And you might be able to work your way back up again. But yeah, there's not really any way to fast track the process. Do you have any advice for how to start building a good Prem team? I have lots of good wonder kids in attack, average midfield and poor defence. You've almost answered your own question there. You probably need to focus on your midfield and defence. You've certainly gone the right way with youth. I think that's the only way to be competitive in the Premier League, is to bring in youth. You can bring in, what you can't really do in the Premier League is bring in players who are in their mid-20s who are going to move you on to the next level. You can bring in players who'll keep you at the level you're at who are in their mid-20s, but if you want to move on to that next level, you need to bring in players who are going to grow with you. You can bring in old men to keep you up, but it's only a short-term solution. The answer really is to bring in youth and just focus on bringing in young players and hope that they grow with you. But it's a risky strategy if you're also struggling to stay in the league. So you have to kind of find that balance between youth and the odd free transfer who's been released by a bigger club. Do I have a favourite 11 over all of my saves? I think I've done videos on my favourite 11s before. I'll probably do one this year as well. At the end of FM21, I'll probably do my team of FM21. We'll probably chat on stream about how that fits in with an all-time best 11. But yeah, I've got some players in mind. Did you have a player in one of your saves called Callum Cisse? Yes, at home. I have him in my save. Feel like I recognise his name. Yeah, he was with us at home up until like League One, I think. Played right back and central midfield. He came in as a midfielder. We ended up playing him as a right back. Found 6 English attacking wonder kids there. My academy had 2 of them at the start. Yeah, don't sign any more attackers for a while, which anyone who watches the home series knows that I struggle to follow that rule for myself. I am a sucker for an 18-year-old Brazilian with a good left foot. Oh, Anna's there, is she? Yeah.
Brazilian?
Yeah.
You want an 18-year-old
Perfect timing. I mean, could this have been timed any worse? Yeah. Brazilian wonder kid. Got one at the moment called Ian, who's great. It's a really Brazilian name, isn't it? Ian. Hello, Anna. How are you doing?
18-year-old Brazilian.
Are you an 18-year-old Brazilian?
No, but that's what you want, apparently.
I mean, I get 6 a year. 6 18-year-old Brazilians a year is my system. How are we? Anna streamed today, boys and girls. Did you all watch Anna's stream? Well, you should all quit your jobs and watch Anna's streams. But at the same time, don't quit your jobs so that you can subscribe to Anna's channel. So I don't really know what the solution is. Maybe work different hours.
Kevin,
You need to fit your work around me and Anna streaming.
Kevin,
Hello, Anna.
This is not a wardrobe. You need to put something to say.
No, they're all my
Yeah, but
shirts.
they're falling off, Kevin.
They're only falling off if you knock them off. They don't.
The hook.
Hook's
Not enough room on the
fine.
hook.
Yeah, I'm gonna put. I've got a hook up there that the glue's just drying. So there'll be one going up there. Is she? She's gone. Everyone was well behaved on a stream. Good, good. Oh, hold on. Have we got a player? Is he a midfielder? He is a midfielder. The thing is, we're not going to be able to afford him. Who's caused this? We desperately need a central midfielder. He's just not going to agree to this, is he? No. Or subscribe anyway and watch the VODs or stream replays on LOLLUJO live. That's the solution. Very well said. Getting too old to put your clothes away. Look, they're on a hook on the back of the door. There's about 10 football shirts on there though. And there's 2 more hooks on the wall here now. I've got another hook up there. And I think there's going to be, I've got a whole bit of wall here, which I'm going to put some shelves up to put some wrestling figures on. And then try and fit another hook up there. So what I need is an office as big as a garage. Can you imagine? That would be the dream. I never had this problem in the garage. I had it was freezing cold in winter and boiling hot in summer problem, but I never had a problem with putting my stuff in there. I had my wrestling ring set up in the corner with all my wrestlers in. I had all of my pop vinyls out. I had 2 of these big bookcases. I had infinite room for suits and football shirts. Perez, Williams or Johnny Walker for the best 11 this year? Alex Williams is the best goalkeeper this year. Arteta out is already trending. What have I let myself in for? What kind of bunch of cretins try and sack their manager after a friendly? I don't know if I'm ready for this. Is it too far-fetched for Anna to have a YouTube channel where the VODs go? Not far-fetched. I think the argument probably is it might be a bit pointless because it won't generate enough interest to qualify for the partner program, so it won't make any money, which I know is a frowned upon reason for not doing something, but we very much treat it all as a business, and it's time and effort that isn't actually going to pay any money. At which point, you got a question, what's the point? When's the YouTube plaque arriving? It could be ages yet. I spoke about it briefly on Anna's stream earlier. It's not just a case of you hit 100k and they stick the plaque in the post. I haven't put a midfielder on the bench. What a moron. My midfielders are broken. Once you hit 100,000 subs, you then go into a queuing system for a real person to look at your channel, similar to the queue to get monetization on YouTube in the first place. And anyone who's ever tried to get monetized on YouTube knows how long that queue can be. But it basically needs someone to look at the channel and make sure that it's legit. So make sure that it's not full of porn or terrorism or racism. Make sure that I've not bought all my subscribers. And it's not automatic that you get 100,000 subscribers and they give you the award. It's most people get the award, but if they decide, because they don't want to be seen to reward someone who's promoting hate or porn or is cheated, so they have to check that it's legit first, and that could take 2 or 3 months, and then they send the thing out. So I think with the vlog channel, it was about 3 months from hitting 100k to getting the plaque, and it's been about 3 weeks, I think, since we hit 100k on the FM channel. So it's going to be a little while. We really, really need midfielders because this system works until the midfielders get tired. We saw it in the last game where we started conceding goals late on. Those midfielders just get tired out and then they just start giving the ball away. And we're losing matches late on because we've got nothing left to give in central midfield. We're just going to have to stick these guys in there. A right back and a centre back in there. It's too late now. But we've got 2 lads dead on their feet in central midfield. And we're giving away 2 goals late on in the game. Started playing in 0102 again and found a very young Cristiano Ronaldo as a free agent in the original database. Does that even add up? I mean, I guess. Why would he be a free agent? Wouldn't he have been at Sporting? So we're out of the Fat Cup, which isn't a disaster, I guess. I don't know why my director of football is trying to bring in more defenders. We've got loads of defenders. He's a free and a young Rooney is at Everton. Really? Do they actually end up being any good? It's 20 years since I played Championship Manager 0102. Do they, I assuming there must have been an editor back then, so I used to edit stuff. What's their potential ability? Do they actually end up, was the FM scouting network back then good enough to know? Did they know that these boys were going to be as good as they ended up? We just need someone who can play central midfield. Come on, Midgie. Can't pay his salary. Can we pay your salary? Oh, we can actually afford this guy. How many loans have we got at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, we can bring in another loan. Everyone knew about Rooney a few years before he scored that goal with Arsenal, but no one knew he'd be that good. My earliest, or in fact, it would be my earliest memory of Rooney. But I distinctly remember, and I don't know why I remember this so clearly, because I had no affiliation to any party involved. But I remember being sat in a multi-storey car park in Bournemouth. We were on holiday. I was with my ex-wife and presumably our eldest in a car park in Bournemouth. And we had 5 Live on the radio, and they announced that Rooney was on the verge of signing for Newcastle. Obviously he didn't. He went to some Manchester club instead. And I think it was like a week later that he ended up signing for United. But I distinctly remember hearing about Rooney like being really strongly linked with a move to Newcastle. And for some reason telling my dad about it. I don't know why I cared. I look back on it and can't work out why I cared. I don't understand. But I really, really, really remember it. Similarly, I really remember being on holiday. It might have, could it have even been the same holiday? I don't know if the dates add up. But we were on holiday in the New Forest. And I remember this was before smartphones and stuff. So we were camping in the New Forest. And I went over and bought the papers that morning. I had to get a couple so I could have one and my dad could have one to read the sports pages because transfers were happening. And it was just after Abramovich had bought Chelsea. And we were just like over the course of several days seeing in the papers Joe Cole arriving and Varane arriving. And again, I don't know why I cared. Why did I care that Chelsea were signing loads of players? But they kind of were coming in one after the other. It was very odd. Right, we've got another midfielder. Dean Pinnington is in. Oh, my eyes. Right, one moment. My hay fever is really playing up. I went to the chemist's today and got a set. We've got here eye drops, nasal spray and tablets. I need to do the eye drops. My eyes are ruined. If anyone's really about eyes, you might want to look away for a minute. So I'm just putting some eye drops in. But my eyes are ruined. So, yeah, it's open. You might want to look away now. Oh. I didn't read the instructions properly. I don't know if it's supposed to be 1 or 2 drops. I hope they were the eye drops and not the nasal spray. Oh dear. What's it in my eyes? Just hay fever. Soprano monkey. Thank you. I look like I'm crying now. Thank you for the sub. Oh, it looks like I'm crying. Oh, my hay fever is bad today, boys and girls. Anyone else's hay fever playing up? Can't believe Kev did that on stream. Very good. Speaking about Chelsea, that time still hurts. Losing Paulo Ferreira and Ricardo Carvalho ruined Porto. I'm very sorry for your loss. Shirt behind me is a work of art. It is. YouTube shorts. Kev cries over a sub. Eye drop unboxing. Absolutely. This was only $7.99. If anyone's got, I think it's a Lloyd's pharmacy. It might not be. If anyone's got a pharmacy nearby, this whole pack of Polonaise, which not to be confused with Bolognese, you want to make sure you're clear over which one you're getting. But $7.99 for a pack of Polonaise with the nasal spray, the eye drops, and the tablets. I don't know what sort of tablets they are. Is it Loratadine? It is. I didn't even look. What is the active ingredient? Cetirizine hydrochloride. They're not the drowsy ones, are they? I hate the drowsy ones. Oh dear. Started a UK non-installation. My first job is at LAN. Nice. My eyes do feel a little less itchy immediately though, which is nice. How's the diet? A little bit off track this week because of my birthday, and I got me those cakes and that bubble tea set. So I've been eating cakes and drinking bubble tea and really overdosing on sugar. But we'll be back on track soon enough. I've never been able to take a pill like painkillers, but yes, I did it for the first time. Congratulations. Kyle, 19 months. Congratulations. And thank you. Are you wearing your sexy new, not home shirt, Born shirt? I hope you are. It's a thing of beauty after all. The bubble tea looked awesome. It is very cool. Although, for someone who doesn't have a lot of sugar normally, you have to be a little bit careful with it. Because, goodness me, is there some sugar in that? Goodness me, we had one today. It was like the opposite. It was really sour. It was, I couldn't finish mine. It was too, Anna drank hers, I think, but it was black tea with lemon syrup, which I like lemon iced tea normally. So far, so good. And apple bubbles. And it's, the idea of it sounded quite nice, but I think I just put too much of the lemon syrup in because it just it tasted like I was sucking on a lemon, a really cold lemon. So I wasn't that impressed. When you get relegated from the Prem to the Championship and have poor Prem defenses, do you look for defensive wonder kids? Yeah, if that's where you're struggling. I mean, when I'm doing transfers in the Premier League, when I've got money, I can just kind of do the transfers that I want. I tend to base a lot of it on this screen and look at where the weaknesses are. So if I had money to throw around for this team, I'd look at this and think, right, well, we're pretty strong out wide, or it's the same guy. So maybe we need a backup winger because we go 4.5 stars, then down to 2.5. We've got one decent striker, one good striker, a couple of decent ones, some decent midfielders, although we could maybe use one more body in there. But we probably need fullbacks and a goalkeeper because they're the 3-star players. I'd kind of just prioritise where we're weakest. Who's that? Who's going to be out of contract? James Jones. This is going to be a problem. But then everyone's going to be out of contract in the summer because we put most of them on 1-year contracts. I thought that was telling me it was going to be out of contract. I mean, 3 years. Is he having a joke? Why on earth would I commit to a 3-year contract at this level? Hold on. How do we really... I mean, he's 6'5", so... He's 6'5" and he has a flat top. And he's our best defender. The plus points go in that order. 6'5", flat top, best defender. So on that basis, I guess we do give him a new contract, but he's earning 300 a week at the moment. I don't really want to give him a 3-year deal. Although that's not actually a 3-year deal, is it? It's a 2.5-year deal. So I don't actually mind a 2.5-year deal. don't want to do that though. Yeah, we'll do that. Flat top is worth a 4-year deal. I mean, you speak the truth that we are in dire financial straits. I'm a little bit surprised we were able to offer him that much money. I know that's what he's on now, but you'd think in that situation they would look to limit me. Although, to be fair, this situation suggests that situation is a little bit too conservative. Because we're doing all right for money. Can I have some more money, please? Can I have some more money, please and thank you? See what they say. That is a lot of discussion about teams that are supported. When people ask me what team I support, the answer will still just be Peterborough. That's the team I support. And then if people say, yeah, but what Premier League team do you support? Rather than my usual answer of, I don't, I just support Peterborough. I'll now be able to say, well, I don't support them, but I'm following Arsenal this year as an experiment. I might develop into a supporter over time, who knows? Although I guess I have directly supported them by buying a shirt. So you could argue I already have supported them. What tier 8 team do I support? I don't even know who's in tier 8. What tier are Deeping Rangers in? Any recommendations for places to eat in Manchester? They've got a Red Street barbecue, which is pretty delicious. They've actually got a couple of barbecue places right next to each other in the centre of the city. But Red Street barbecue is pretty cool. It's got all of the usual chain places as well. But I would, if I was eating out in Manchester tonight, I'd go to Red Street barbecue. Or there's a lot of good curry in Manchester. I've had several really good curries in the centre of Manchester. Looking forward to the LOLLUJO version of All or Nothing. I guess I'm going to have to watch that, aren't I? I've never watched any of the All or Nothing things. The closest I've got is I watched that Sunderland thing. You could say my main team and domestically is Peterborough. I'm not going to get that faffy about it. I'm just going to say I support Posh. Because I do. I've been going to Posh matches for 30 years now. My first match was in the 1990-91 season. Against Hartlepool, I believe. And I missed my first goal because I wasn't paying attention. And my dad still tells me it's the best goal he's ever seen at London Road. It was in my first match and I wasn't watching, so I never saw it. Favourite Posh game? Playoff final at Old Trafford against Huddersfield. Doesn't get any better than the 7 minutes of heaven where we went from 0-0 to 3-0 in that game. Just beautiful. My first football goal came in the first minute of my first game. Nice. My first match was 4 for our Athletic versus Dunfermline in the 1990-91 season. There you go. We started in the same season then. And then my first away game was away against Chesterfield at the end of the 91 season. And we got promoted from the old 4th division. And then a year later, we beat Stockport at Wembley in the playoff final. So my first 2 years supporting Posh, we got promoted twice. Went from the old 4th division to the new 1st division. So got promoted 3 leagues, we'll say. Yeah, within 3 years of starting supporting, or within 2 years of starting to support my little 4th division team, we were in the 1st division playing Newcastle. And we actually finished 10th in the 1st division that season. And then got relegated the next year. And we've rarely been back since. Although we're back now. Yeah, for those first few years as a Posh fan, I just assumed we always won all the time and just kept getting promoted. Apparently, that's not the case, I've learnt since. Although I've seen us get promoted more times than I've seen us get relegated. So I guess on that basis, I'm winning. If Posh want to hurry up and sell Ricky Dembele, I'll take that. Rooms, you have a 25% sell on him. Sell him for 10 million, please. But he's out of contract, so I don't really understand what's going on there. Because theoretically he's out of contract and he's now past 23. He's 24 now. So to my mind, he's out of contract and 24, so should be able to leave for free. The fact he hasn't would indicate to me that there must have been some kind of clause in his contract where we got a year's extension if we got promoted or something along those lines. So I don't really understand why he's still here, but he is. I don't think we're going to get a lot of money for him. Apparently he had a 1-year extension. Yeah, I don't really understand. But even if he's only got a year left, we're not going to get a lot of money for him. It'll be a Marcus Maddison, George Boyd situation again, where the contract pretty much runs down. He'll leave on loan at Christmas, and then whoever he signs on loan for in January, he'll sign on a free transfer for next summer. Right, well, Pennington's come in and done all right, hasn't he? We've actually got a midfield now. We're actually playing good football all of a sudden. Who knew we were capable of playing well? I'll take 25% of whatever it is. I mean, I'll see what I can do. I assume it's not coming directly to you. Second season in the home save and moved to Cardiff City for 825,000. Interesting. My first game was Oxford versus Swindon. I spent more time looking over the back of the stand at the local Saturday League game as it was green and white hoops versus blue. The little version of me saw it as Celtic versus Rangers. Nice. I can't imagine in my first season, when I went to my first match, I can't imagine knowing who Celtic and Rangers are. Although, actually, I don't think I'd have got my Rangers goalkeeper shirt until the following year. I think it was it Euro 92 where Chris Woods was England goalkeeper? It would have been that Christmas that I got a Rangers goalkeeper shirt because Chris Woods was England goalkeeper and was at Rangers at the time. Because he wasn't number one for very long, was he? He was between Shilton and Seaman, if I recall. And I don't think he was the number one for very long. Not that I'm glory hunter. My first game was Middlesbrough versus Oldham in the 92-93 Premier League season. Nice. Woods was in goal in Euro 92. Yeah, so it would have probably been Christmas 92 that I got my Rangers goalkeeper shirt. I haven't got a beverage, I've just realised. This is a devastating situation. I don't know if I can cope without a beverage. We need Anna to come back. Anna, if you're watching the stream... She's watching. Anna, if you're watching the stream, could you deliver me a cherry Pepsi Max, please? We're out of Diet Coke. I've got to drink that much. I'd like a cherry Pepsi Max. But Woods left Rangers in 91. Well, he must have been England goalkeeper in 91 then. Did Shilton retire after the World Cup? So it must have been... So I guess I would have known who Rangers were for my first match. If my first match was in 1990, in like October, November time 1990, I probably got the shirt Christmas 1990. Because he would have been England goalkeeper by then, and he would have still been at Rangers. So that must have been when I got the Rangers shirt. Not that I'd known any different. I mean, I'm the kid who turned down a Barcelona shirt on holiday at that sort of age. Well, younger than that, when Gary Lineker was at Barcelona. I turned down a Barcelona shirt. My dad really tried to persuade me to get one, but Gary Lineker plays for them. I wasn't having any of it. Didn't want a Barcelona shirt. Don't know why. No idea. I would quite like it now. If my dad rang me up now and said, do you want a Barcelona shirt? I'd go, yeah, if you want. Throw a few quid their way. They need the money, apparently. DJ Glover, thank you for the 13 months. You've regretted not getting the shirt ever since. I just don't understand why I was so adamant I didn't want one. But then my kids repeated history, because when we were, I think it was when we went to Mallorca. I say my kids, it would have just been Lucy. When we went to Mallorca, in fact, Andy sort of repeated history as well. But when we went to Mallorca about 10 years ago, they had a load of, you know how you get the cheap knockoff shirts at the local markets and stuff near the tourist resorts? They had loads of Messi shirts. And I was like, I mean, she was coming to the football regularly at that point and could not persuade her to get a Messi shirt. She was not having any of it. And then when we went to France a couple of years ago, I tried to get Andy a Paris Saint-Germain shirt. Not interested. In the end, I had to settle for getting myself a Paris Saint-Germain bag for life. So one of my bags for life was a Paris Saint-Germain bag. It was my one piece of Paris Saint-Germain merch that I got when we were in Paris. A bag for life, because I'm that old. Kids just refuse stuff without thinking about it, then feel the need to dig the heels and win your question. I know it's weird, isn't it? Because as an adult, if I'm offered a football shirt, I'm like, yeah, all right. Even if I don't really want it, I'll probably take it. A lot of English people bought Rangers shirts in those days, as Rangers had half the England team. I mean, they had, what's his face? And I can never remember the difference between Trevor Stephen and Gary Stevens. I can never remember which one was which. One of them was at Rangers, wasn't he? I guess Mark Haitley was up there still. Mark Haitley was up there forever, wasn't he? But yeah, for some reason, it was the goalkeeper shirt. Chris Wood's goalkeeper shirt. Not that you'd even identify it as a Chris Wood's shirt back then, because there was no numbers. Both and Terry Butcher too. How did half the England team end up at Rangers? Can we just wheel back an hour on this stream? When people were trying to convince me that someone was trying to convince me that England's 1990 World Cup squad was as good as the one that we've got now, and you're telling me that like 5 of them were playing for Rangers. I know this was a different time and Scottish football wasn't quite so far behind English football as it is now, but what's that all about? Yeah, Gaza was at Rangers, absolutely. Did they just all go up there because they couldn't play in Europe for English teams? Is that what that was about? That's the logic I'm trying to apply to it. They couldn't play for... Oh, that is pretty much it. Okay. That makes a bit more sense, I guess. And Souness. Okay. I guess I sort of understand. Meanwhile, we're getting absolutely battered here by a Kidderminster team we beat earlier in the season. This was our first win, was against Kidderminster. But maybe we're a little bit too attacking against this lot. 91-92 Rangers, England players with Gary Stevens, Nigel Spackman, Trevor Stevens, Mark Haitley. There you go. I mean, we've been on a good run. We're almost safe. 3 more wins and I think we're probably safe. So I'm not too worried that we're getting battered today. We'll take the odd battering, I guess. It's part of playing this more attacking system that we play now. Make a few changes. Hey, from Canada, loving the highlights of this on YouTube. Glad I could pop in live. Welcome along. Hay fever! Is it really disgusting to use nasal spray on stream? Oh, I'm gonna have to use the nasal spray as well, boys and girls. I'm going all in on this. I will mute the microphone so you don't have to hear me doing a nasal spray, but Hay fever has just hit me for 6 these last couple of days. Whoa. Hold on, we're muting. Nasal spray done, and now I need to get a drink so I can take a tablet as well. I'm going all in on Polonaise, not bolognese, people. Season before, Chris was Terry Butchermont or just Terry Herlock. Oh, that feels better already. Did Anna bring me a drink? Very sad. One moment. Oh. Feeling one of your beverages. It's already stolen now. Hold on. It's stolen now. You can't stop me. I'm drinking it. I've got my tongue in it now. Oh, where were we? I'm just medicating myself on stream. No, I need to take tablets. I'm struggling here.
You don't like cherry, give it.
I'm thirsty.
Give it me. Don't you drink my cherry cop.
Oh, it's disgusting. But I'm so thirsty and I needed to take my Polonaise. Not bolognese. I've had all 3 of my Polonaise ingredients.
Guess what I'm playing?
Red Dead Redemption 2 on PlayStation 5.
Yes.
What a guess. Almost as if I saw your screen.
No. Don't look at it. Don't look at my screen.
Apparently I'm being a wang.
Why are you being a wang?
Because I'm drinking your drink.
Yeah. Internet people, Kevin's friends. Hello.
What is happening?
Kevin's friends.
Internet people, Kevin's friends. You go. I'm just renewing contracts.
You do that. I need a splitter because I don't like playing my games in standard definition when I play them on the TV. So I'd like a splitter that actually works.
I have one just there. Just
buy me one then.
You haven't asked. Why are you asking them? They're not going to buy you one.
No, but
I'll sort it after the
I
stream.
can tell you what.
I've got one that works. Stop leaning on my terrible one. Yeah, just remind me after the stream. We'll sort you out. Right. Where are we? David Fisher. Get him a new contract. Top scorer. Superstar. What's he on at the moment?
Why is it so warm?
It's the summer, Anna.
I don't like it. Have you given Spike any food?
Yeah, he's not called Spike. He's called Jack, and I watered him today. So do not drown him. It's Tuesday. He gets his water on Tuesday. He's not Spike. He's Jack.
His name is Spike.
His name is Jack, and he's been in videos. He's been in a brand deal video. He was in I think he was in a Skillshare advert. He's a star of the channel. People know who Jack is.
I'm alright, thank you. Very no. But I'm looking forward to getting back.
But they can't hear you now.
I'm looking forward to going back to Last of Us 2 tomorrow. I enjoyed
Oh, you
today.
streaming again tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, you're
3 times a week.
Fancy old streaming lady.
Because I had to have Monday off because I was being
Lazy. What? What's she doing that face?
Excuse me.
You're being a mother. M-U-T-H-A-R. Mother. That's pronounced.
Kevin, at this point, Kevin wishes never opened the door.
Oh dear.
Merry Christmas. Look.
It is.
Oh no, it's New Year.
Yeah, the 29th of December. But that's, in fact, that's this coming Christmas.
It is.
Maybe we're at Centre Parks. I was looking at Centre Parks for Christmas.
October is the earliest.
What do you mean the earliest? What do you mean?
I looked on the other day because I wanted to go away, and the earliest we can go to any of them is like the first 6
Yeah,
of
well, I was
October.
looking at... We can't go in October because that would clash with games. So I was looking at maybe going between Christmas and New Year. This is probably a conversation we can have off camera. But I thought Christmas / New Year's Eve at Centre Parks could be cool.
The what is?
New Year's Eve at
Yeah.
Centre Parks could be cool.
What, with all the children?
God, no. None of the children, just me and you and Dave.
To take Ruru lives with us.
Oh, God!
I'm sure Amy would like to go.
Yeah.
Can we go to a different?
Yeah, we'll go to the one near Milton Keynes because it's nearer to where we live now. What?
The one in Ireland?
No, because the one near Milton Keynes is less than an hour from our house. We can leave the kids here if we go to that one and just nip back and check on them. No one would even say it's wrong. They're all old enough to look after themselves.
No. And Dave?
Andy will be 17 by then.
I
No,
don't care.
no one's going to begrudge us leaving a 17-year-old at home while we go and have a few days away.
I would begrudge it. Me.
Oh, dear.
I had New Year's on my own last year. Mind if I'm doing it again?
Oh, God.
Spend it with a bunch of men.
What men?
At work.
Oh, of course. You were off gallivanting on New Year's, weren't you?
Yeah.
I went to bed early.
You messaged me at me.
Yeah, from bed.
Did you wake up at midnight?
No, I was just watching telly in bed.
Andy, age 17, and look after. Wait, no. No.
Seems reasonable to me.
I want this shirt and we'll wear it.
I've got another one, but I've just agreed to give it away.
What size is it?
Extra large.
Oh, it's a bit fine.
Exactly, but it's a giveaway now. You can enter the giveaway. If you're the biggest donation on my charity stream on Thursday, you get it. Because I'm trying to raise money for a good cause. Do you not care about War Child?
I know what War Child is.
They raise money for children in war-torn parts of the world.
Like,
I don't know, places that there are wars. I haven't read the blurb they sent me yet. I imagine there's wars all over the shop.
that's Where's Sven?
Sven, I don't know. He might be under here somewhere.
No, where Kevin is.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
No, Kevin's over
Yeah. Right. I am about to play a football match.
there. Football.
Exactly. Football. Football.
Kevin, you know
What?
the weekend you said you were going to tidy up?
Yep.
What happened?
Didn't. What the hell's happened here, boys and girls? We sold a player. Josh Okpolokpo.
Question.
She's back. Hello.
All on the floor. Why is it on the floor?
Because it arrived today. This is my Amazon subscription for hair product. Do you want to know?
Subscription
Yeah, it gets delivered once a month. And I've made it so that I can exactly portion a pot out. So the day it's coming, I use the last part of it. So that lasts me exactly 1 month. This is how my hair looks so good. Because I use Man Cave texturizing hair paste. Not an advert, but it should be because it's excellent stuff. Vegan. Vegan hair paste. Hope that segment makes it into the YouTube highlights. Jamie, if you're there, and you should be, I don't know how you edit it without watching. Jamie, cut all that out. That's not fit for YouTube. We'll take that out and use it as a vlog on a slow day. Right, where's my delicious, disgusting pop? Can't stand cherry pop. Oh, it's wet though. Oh, it's wet. I think I understand this, but I could be wrong. A promise to strengthen the team up front means I get better forwards only, right? Not better forwards and attacking. Yeah, I mean, you can get other players. I think you'll get by with just getting one striker. I don't think you need to go and get loads. I think if you've promised to strengthen the team up front, bringing in one striker who's better than what you've got should be plenty. That should be enough. Daniil Richards. We do need another centre-back now. We've just lost one. thing is, he's making all these offers for players. I bet he's offering them peanuts. There's not a chance that guy's accepting that deal. But we'll leave him to keep trying. Pretty sure Anna touched every single item in my office. She does that. She likes to have a look around. Right. How are we doing? Ding, 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 ding. We've got Jones. Jones. Oh, by the way, I need your lot's thoughts on a new player we've just signed in the home save that you'll meet properly in a couple of days. Mads Ness, the new left winger. We're just nicknaming that guy Madness, right? Or is that really annoying? I've never really done much in the way of nicknames on YouTube. I know when I did Kevin Smith, not that one, the amount of people in the comments who were furious. The YouTube lot, they don't like having a little giggle. But a guy called Mads Ness, how on earth is he not just called Madness? He's got to be, isn't he? Come on, Fennel, said nobody ever, even chefs. It's the most pointless of flavors. What is it, a vegetable? It's a root. Is it a root vegetable, fennel? Just tastes like aniseed, doesn't it? Is that the one that tastes like aniseed? Fennel's pointless. Does anyone like fennel? Madness to replace Ian or Claver. 2 meanings that sentence. That's a very good point. I mean, Claver's a midfielder in my mind. He's my reserve McKenna. Didn't expect him to end up being the reserve McKenna. How do you stay motivated to play a save when it's not going well? Because I want to fix it. I have the reputation as the greatest football manager player in the world, which is accurate. So in order to maintain that reputation, if things aren't going well, I have to fix them. So I have my reputation to think of. It's easy to get motivated. Yeah, always winning is boring. I agree. Fennel in sausage is good, is it? Is that something that would just be in a normal sausage, or do you have to get a special fennel sausage? Which sounds like something you'd get in an adult store. I'm here for the special fennel sausage. Right this way, sir. I assume that's how they speak in adult shops. The ones you get on the side of the motorway. Has anyone ever been in one of those? If you have, you're a pervert. I've never been in one of those. I don't really understand who goes to them and what they're for and how they stay in business. But I bet you can go there and get a special fennel sausage. Really confused the YouTube crowd by naming him after Madness song lyrics. What changes his nickname every match? I could just call him Madness, but every time I commentate on him, use Madness song lyrics. Yeah, this is it's the first season of the save. It's officially the second season of FM because we holidayed the first season. It's just hard losing every game in the Prem. It's kind of unavoidable when you're newly promoted and not very good. It's just part of what you sign on for when you start a save a lot of the time. There's often very little you can do about it. Right, we're just going to have to play a striker out wide because we've broken him. I mean, I've been playing Football Manager pretty much every day, most days since I was a kid. So the thought of not playing just because save's not going well kind of confuses me a little bit. But then I'm like that with other games. Minecraft, I must have started at least 100 worlds over the years, and I've never done the Ender Dragon. I never get that far. As soon as I get to a bit, well, this isn't going the way I'd hoped. Like I lose my diamond pickaxe, or I don't know, can't find diamonds where I wanted to find them, or mess up my nether portals, or I build something that looks a bit rubbish. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna start a new world. The amount of new worlds I start in Minecraft. So I get it. People are going adult shops actually because now the internet exists. My mum and me often have an argument about who's better, 1D or Madness. I guess 1D's One Direction, is it? Obviously the answer is Madness. Start of Minecraft is the best. Yeah, I agree. I love the start of Minecraft, but then I don't have the end of Minecraft to compare it to. I watch stuff on YouTube and I'm like, I'd quite like to try this Elytra thing that I hear about, but I'll never get there because I'm too busy strip mining to get enough diamonds together to be able to build an enchanting table. I rarely get beyond that stage. How's Minecraft going? But on the FM server, it's all right. I've moved very far away from everybody else. The only problem is I cause huge lag when I'm in the game because I just basically got fed up of them trolling me. So I packed up like enough stuff that I packed everything I could carry. I've left a lot where my original house was, but I loaded up on as much stuff as I could carry, got in a boat and just went like 3,000 blocks away and started up again. So now I can play in there and chat with them and stuff, but nobody has any idea where I am, and I've not seen another person since moving. So I've got effectively a little single player setup miles away from everyone else, but nobody sleeps. Multiplayer Minecraft does my head in. I like the stuff when you're actually doing stuff together. It's fun. But I don't like the fact people can take your stuff, and I don't like the fact that you can't just sleep when you want. What if they teleport me to them? Then I'll just stop playing because I think that's dumb as well. This song has lyrics. What is going on here? This is the new Stream Beats playlist. This is the Stream Beats Hi-Fi playlist. Apparently. I'm pausing that because I don't know that it actually is. It doesn't look like it's in this playlist. I think we've gone beyond the playlist and it started playing something else. I think it's moved into an Epidemic Sound playlist, which is why it's gone a bit rubbish. So we're going to go back into the... No, that's the lo-fi one. I don't want the lo-fi one. The lo-fi one's the one I always listen to. I want the hi-fi playlist. And we'll play this. Whatever that had moved on to, it obviously wasn't copyright because I didn't get shut down. I think it had moved on to an Epidemic Sound playlist, which was... My whole year has just been sent home as 20 people have got COVID. Good time for me as I've just broken my big toe and can't walk. I mean, is that it for the year now then, if you've all been sent home? I guess summer holidays start early, do they? Kev, how do I redeem my name in the game player? I would wait for now until we get some new gens, because you can only use my new gens. I mean, you can redeem it any time and just let one of the mods know what you want when the time comes. But at the moment, there's not really much in the way of new gens in the save, so I wouldn't bother right now. On the plus side, somebody else can get endgame stuff for you, I guess. Kev, I need your help. My team atmosphere is abysmal. How do I get it back to good? I've done friendlies and team meetings. Praise everybody's conduct is starting point. But yeah, friendlies and praising everybody's conduct. Also on your training, I can't really show you it because we're part-time. But if you were full-time and you had some free training slots, you want to go to extracurricular and do some team bonding sessions. Team bonding sessions really help for morale. Match reviews, which we can only do after a match, which I doubt we can even do at this level. No, we can't even do match reviews. But you can go into match preparation and do a match review the day after a game. That helps with team bonding as well. But yeah, praise conduct, do team bonding, play friendlies against teams you'll definitely beat. It's no good playing friendlies against teams roughly of your standard. You want a friendly that you can win 18-0. The save will likely last FM22, right? Yeah, almost certainly. I mean, we might even get to the point where it's becomes sort of a hybrid YouTube Twitch save towards the end of FM21. If both home and born finish before like the end of October, September time, whenever it might be, then we might even end up doing proper edited together videos of this series on YouTube as well. Just because the YouTube lot will be familiar with it from the stream highlights. So it might kind of end up covering both. But yeah, it'll be around for a while. We have to isolate until the summer, so I'm not going back till September. Nice. Meant to come back on the last day, but it's a half day, so I think they aren't letting us back in. That makes sense. Need analysis stuff to do match reviews. Ah, okay, there we go. Some training sessions also increase happiness. Attackers really like chance conversion training. Okay. Scottish school ended in June 24th. Yeah, Scotland does end really early, but they go back really early as well, don't you? We don't go back till September here. Whereas I think Andy's last day is next Tuesday and Amy's last day is next Wednesday. So from middle of next week, we will be officially summer holidays, which means we'll be dropping down to the summer holiday schedule on YouTube, 1 video a day, to give me time to do some family stuff as well. We get a LOLLUJO Cup save, see all the matches. I'll probably do that. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, probably. The one thing, I don't have the Leicester team for that. I've got every other team I've played as is saved, but I forgot to save Leicester before I holidayed forward 5 years. So the Leicester team won't be in the LOLLUJO Cup, but everyone else will be. I finished on Friday. I finished last Friday. Ireland ends in May. What, for the summer? When do you go back then in Ireland? How long do you get off? That's mad. I know they finish super early in the US as well, don't they? I think in England we have the holidays more spread throughout the year. So kids get 13 weeks a year off school, but they only get 6 of that in the summer. You get 2 weeks at Easter, 2 weeks at Christmas, and then 3 other 1 week breaks throughout the year as well. And then the odd day here and there. Posture check. We go back 17th of August. Ah, that's Scotland, isn't it? Certain places in the US finish earlier than others. I used to finish in June. Okay. Ends in May, then we have exams in June, back end of August usually. Where's that? Is that the US? Or, oh, that's Ireland. Okay. School terms in England are like 6 weeks, then off. Yeah. Oh, Hope's injured. We can make that change. Oh, 2 injuries. We can just make those changes nice and easy. Come on, boys. Let's beat Kettering. We can beat Kettering. You think the school year's the wrong way round? How do you mean? What, you think kids should be in school all summer and off 6 weeks in the winter? Is that what you mean? Because if that is what you mean, then no, I don't think it's the wrong way around. My state literally had a law to start the fall term after our Labour Day because an amusement park wanted cheap labour through the whole summer. I'm not joking. Fair enough. In Scotland, we don't call the holiday in February and May half term. It's just a holiday. I mean, it's officially not half term here anymore. That's just because years ago in English schools, you'd have 3 terms a year. Like you'd have the autumn term, winter term, spring term, and then summer off. But these days, most schools consider they've got 6 terms, but the bit in between where half term used to be, which was the holiday midway through the term, they're still called half terms. But yeah, you just have 6 terms here now with a holiday in between each. Weren't the holidays linked to the farming seasons originally? Yeah, that was the idea. Obviously, not really relevant anymore. Yeah, the idea was to have kids off in the summer to help with harvest and stuff, I guess. And other farming shenanigans. Exam season should be in the winter. I'd have hated having my exams in the winter. People are miserable in the winter. You want exams when you're cheery and happy and up for them. Plus, after your exams, you get all that time off. You wouldn't want to finish, you know, if exams finished in like February and then you got 5 months off like kids do after their GCSEs or whatever it is. You wouldn't want 5 months off in the middle of winter. You want that long summer. They're positioned perfectly. That 5-month gap is the greatest thing. I've had that 3 times in my life. After my GCSEs, after my A-levels, and then after finishing my teacher training before I started as a teacher. And all 3 times, it's been brilliant. Having all that time off. Exams in the winter would be horrible. The sports hall was cold enough in the winter. It would be awful. Yeah, exactly. No, I wouldn't want exams in the winter. Right, we are losing a lot of games. We've lost 3 in a row. To be fair, we've played against 2 of the best teams in the division. But I think it's probably time to switch back to this tactic again for a couple of matches. Just use this for this next away game at least. We've got 2 away games on the bounce, so we're going to go a little bit more conservative for those 2. And then switch back to the 4-2-4 for that home game against Boston, I think. That's the plan. And keep attacking for Bamber Bridge. Because when we play well with this system, we won 3 league matches in a row there, which pretty much saved the season for us. I think it's unlikely we get relegated now with 30 points on the board already. But let's hold the team meeting. Get everybody sorted out. Club atmosphere. Right, it is January, so let's try and bin off some of these guys who don't want to be here. I don't know if we're going to get any offers for him. So this guy's here on loan. Oh, we can't terminate it either. Ridiculous. We can't terminate either of those loans. Rubbish. Should we do the old praise conduct then? Danny, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, it's a gifted sub, in fact. Jay Slippy, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Very kind of you. I'm just praising some conduct. Can we even praise it? We can praise the conduct of lone players. Luckily, we've not got a huge squad to do this for, so it shouldn't take too long. I rarely do this outside of the Streamer Showdown, but you saw it in the Sheffield United save when we really needed it. And I think this is one of those moments in this save where we're pretty close to being able to guarantee we don't flop this season. I think 3 or 4 more wins and we're done. We can start planning for next year. So the sooner we can get those 3 or 4 wins, the better. So I think it's justified on that basis. And Jay Slippy's now in with a sub as well. A gifted sub before you sub. I like it. 5 months. What a 5 months. What a wonderful thing. Thank you very much. Right. Have we done enough praising people yet? I think that'll probably do. We don't need to do all the substitutes as well. Hydrate. I shall. It's the showdown back this month. I don't actually know when the next showdown is. Your best bet is to ask Ben. I'm not exactly sure when it is. We shall see. I know there's nothing that I've got in as an actual date. I haven't been told to keep any weekends free at the moment, so I'm assuming I'll be in it when it happens. And as far as I'm aware, there's no date been set just yet. I know the idea was get the Euros out of the way and then do it. So presumably, I would assume it's back this month, but I don't know. There you go. We've signed a defender. I hope I muted that burp. That was thunderous. I've got some creme brulee flavour coffee pods at the moment, and that tasted a creme brulee, which isn't as nice as you'd think on its way back out again. Right. Only 6 foot tall. But we do have another defender. He's going to come and sort the problem out. If the final's the last Sunday of the month, then a week tomorrow should be draft day. Okay. Then I would assume it might be not then. Because normally I would know by now. But I don't know. It might be. It might all get thrown together super quickly. We shall see, I guess. I mean, if it is next week, I probably can't do it. Because it clashes with that weekend. Amy's here and it's Andy's birthday. So if it is that weekend, I won't be in it. So there's a chance it is next weekend. And I've already told Ben at some point I can't be in it. So he's not bothered telling me about it. So it might be next weekend. I don't think it is. But if it is, I'm not in it. How do you search for young free talents? The easiest way, other than just waiting for your scout reports to come in, is just ask your director of football. They usually recommend decent young free players. So just go on there, ask them for free transfers in the position that you want. You can even specify the role. So if I want a pressing forward, for example, there you go. There's a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old. He's young. He's probably cheap. That's a lot of facial hair for a 19-year-old. So then I'd probably give him a trial and see if he's any good. Or just use your scout reports. Make sure you got your scouts going out and then just filter this to age. So if you want like under 21 players, you can see there's quite a lot of good ones. And then you can filter out for unattached if you want the free transfers. And again, there's a lot of players there who look like they'd make a difference. The only problem is we don't have any money. Am I looking forward to the F1 at Silverstone this weekend? I do not watch F1, so I didn't know it was happening. And I'm not looking forward to it. Surely you can have a team in the showdown, let the AI take the team on a Saturday and show up on the Sunday night and win it all. I mean, yes, I could, but it's not really fair on everyone else to do that, is it? Still says TBC on their Twitter. If I had to guess, next one will be August. I think that's probably a fair bet. I think if it was going to be next week, they'd have announced it by now. That's July seems to have been really short. Here up, thank you very much for the gifted sub. Because it's only the 13th of July. How is the end of the month next week? This maths doesn't add up. I go through the youth intakes that big teams have. I think you can do it that way. I find that doing it like that, it's pretty much impossible to fail. There's too much selection. And it makes the game a little bit too easy for me, but there's certainly a way you can do it. I prefer to have a more limited selection. York got a player called Nathan Wally. That sounds very familiar. Didn't we have a Nathan Wally at home? We certainly had a Wally of some kind. Kev never changes. He's got a lot of facial hair. Let's get him in. Yeah, that means he's probably really good. Think of the amount of testosterone he must have in him if he's got that much facial hair at 19. Did I see Arsenal lost? I heard they lost a friendly. And apparently Arsenal fans care about that. I've got a lot to learn. I've got a lot to teach these people. I'm going to educate the Arsenal fans into how to be a normal human being. Lesson number 1, friendlies don't matter. Who cares? Don't care about friendlies. You're weirdos. That's lesson number 1 on being a normal human. Lesson number 2, I'm sure will be coming very soon. Tim Jacko, 21 months. Lovely, lovely, lovely. No, we don't care. Most of us anyway. That's all right then. I guess some football fans are maybe so starved of club football that they're clutching at straws a little bit to care about stuff like that. But really, you just had the Euros. No one should be that desperate for football to watch a pre-season friendly against Hibs. Goodness me. I care because I bet £10 on an Arsenal win. The fact that you can bet on a friendly is absurd. You shouldn't be able to bet on friendlies. Why would you bet on a friendly? The AFTV lot were fuming. I keep hearing about this lot. I haven't brought myself to watch them yet. Because everything I hear about them makes them sound awful. I don't think I necessarily need that element of following a Premier League team. Hey, don't watch them. They're awful. I'll start my own version that's any good. I let people bet on wrestling in the US. Wrestling's awesome. Grab the popcorn when you watch them. They only get big viewing numbers when they lose. So they're probably doing all right for money at the moment then. Football banter with Kev. Who'd have thought? Who knew this? Who thought this day would come? Right, York are down to 10 men here. This feels like an opportunity. Oh, I see. I see. From what I can gather, they've just figured out, whether they've done it consciously or not, they've just figured out that people like their ridiculous over-the-top reactions. And they're not actually doing it as like a serious enterprise anymore. It's more a money-making factory of let's be as ridiculous as we can. That's the impression that I get. What's going on? Grantham should be top by now. I mean, we shouldn't. We're a newly promoted side who didn't have a team at the start of the season and are predicted to get relegated. If you were expecting us to get promoted first time of asking, you need to temper those expectations. It's an outrage machine which prints money this day and age. Yeah, they've figured it out. Pretty much it, although it seems like they've been like that since forever. Maybe they're just nuts then and have found a way to monetize being insane. Have we mentioned my pizza triumph? We haven't. We won the tournament of toppings, boys and girls. We won the big one this weekend. Tournament of toppings champion. We defeated a who's who of sort of, but not quite, football Instagrammers. and Tubes off of Soccer AM to become crowned the Tournament of Toppings champion. Magnificent Meat Feast is the greatest topping of them all, boys and girls. Haven't got a stream in a while. How am I doing on Minecraft? All right. Not played it for a few days. Okay, I'll be happy to finish mid. I would just be happy not getting relegated this season. I've got no thoughts of mid-table or anything like that. We're just trying not to get relegated this year. Could you make a Premier League table prediction video before the season starts? I mean, I could. It'll be very ill-informed. I guess that'll make it fun. I think people were surprised how well I did at Euros Fantasy Football. I think I was 35th or something out of the 250 people in my league. I was in the top 15 after the quarterfinals. And then I messed up the last couple of rounds. So maybe I'm a genius. Remember the odds at the start, your odds on favourites for relegation? Yeah, exactly. I think we probably still are. We're a little bit higher now, but still. For us to be 9 points clear of relegation with, what, 20 games to go? I'd have taken that if I was offered it. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. How good is Southport? Second. Ugh. We're going to lose again then. Right, this is that striker who we didn't even really need a striker. But we saw he had facial hair and I fell in love. Love me some beard. Might actually be able to get him as well. I mean, we don't need a striker. But it looks like we're going to sign him. Based on all that information. Oh my word. We've got so much information. But we could play him alongside Fisher. Fisher can be the goal scorer. Burns can be the running about guy. Weird how picking people whose names you've heard of actually works. Yeah, it's a good way of identifying who's any good, isn't it? I mean, as the tournament went on, I'd heard of more and more players. And weirdly, that's when I started performing worse. When I started trying to be clever. I was actually doing better when I could just about get 15 players. Once I'd watched them all play 4 or 5 times, that's when I started making poor choices. Would you start your own soccer TV show and lower league football? No, mainly because I don't know anything about lower league football other than Posh. I could do stuff about Posh, but it's such a small audience that there's no point doing it. I mean, if Posh end up getting promoted to the Premier League, then maybe I'll quickly scramble together a Talking Posh as a party style and fill that void. But I think there's not enough of an audience for it at this level. Certainly wasn't at League One level. Are we letting Fennel go? Because Fennel doesn't want to be here and we've just signed another striker. I think we probably will let Fennel go. That being said, the striker we've just signed is absolute turd. Absolute turd. Let's just release him again. He wasn't here long. So we actually want to keep Fennel. Right, we're going to play negative Nelly football one more game. Many teams over the past years have got back-to-back promotion over the years. Maybe Peterborough can do it too. I mean, we've signed 3 excellent footballers. I don't think we're going to get promoted again. If we go out and sign 3 more excellent footballers before the season starts, stranger things have happened. I mean, ultimately, we've been doing things the Brentford way for as long as Brentford have. It's just taken a little bit longer for us to get promoted with it than it did them. But we sign cheap, we sell expensive, we have excellent scouting, excellent player development. Our academy has been upgraded to category 2. We've invested gazillions in our academy. Our new stadium's like a year away. The amount of money being invested in Posh off the pitch is insane. We're throwing money at players, but the right players and the right money. So it's not impossible that it could happen. At which point, yes, I'll start doing loads of Posh YouTube videos. I'll find a way to do daily content on it. Parachute payments from Premier League make it near impossible for teams to go back to back these days. But you just, I mean, now we're a championship club. If we can survive this season, we've got the chance of building that Brentford style platform where you only need, Brentford didn't need the parachute payments because they had the conveyor belt of players. We've had the conveyor belt of players, but obviously we've been doing it the tier below Brentford. So we were selling Tony to them for 8 million or whatever it was, while they were selling Watkins for 35. We need the next one off of our conveyor belt to go for 20. And then the one after that to go for 30. And that's how we fund moving up to the next level. We have to prove that what's been a fantastic scouting network in League One and a conveyor belt of talent in League One, we need to show we can bring that up another level now and start bringing in the players that are going to be Premier League stars in a few years. It's no good bringing in players who are future championship stars. Now we're in the championship. They already need to be good enough for the championship. We'll see, I guess. But I certainly wouldn't expect us to go back to back. But if we stay up this year, maybe in 5 years, we'll have developed enough to be ready. We'll be in the new stadium. We'll have the academy all set up and nice again. There'll be money flowing through the club. We're one of the few clubs that's run at a profit. Whether those prospects will sign for Posh. Well, the thing is, we have that reputation for developing players, but they're not standing in their way. That's how we got the likes of Tony in the first place. I mean, Ivan Toney had championship clubs interested in him when he left Newcastle. But he came to us because we were able to show him this track record of bringing in players for a season or 2 seasons who are young and hungry, really polishing them up and turning them into stars, and then selling them on for their big move. We've got that track record of doing it. That's how we sell the club to players when we bring them in. It's a case of, look, you come here and within 2 years you'll be in the Premier League or in the Championship, wherever you want to be. And we've just got to hope that that works. You got to get the right kind of player. It's all about getting the right mentality of player. It's no good looking for the players who are just looking for the quick payday. But we want to really be looking at those Premier League youngsters that are being released now, or even the ones that are available for small fees, and just starting to hoover them up. The ones that have got the right attitude, hoover them up, polish them up, and sell them back to the Premier League a year or 2 later. That's got to be the business model from here. If it works, awesome. Alupo, thank you for the 11 months. The difference is, of course, Barry Fry's got 40 years of doing it in the lower leagues. He's never really done it at this level, so will he have the context to be able to carry on doing it? That's the difficulty. Or is it time to go out and get a new director of football? Barry Fry's nearly 80 and has never really done it at this level. So is it time to suggest that he retires and bring in a new director of football who can take us to that next level? You need players who want to play football, not at your club for the money. You need players with ambition. Tony came to Posh to get to the Premier League, and it worked. Assombalonga came to Posh. He left Watford, wasn't getting in the Watford team. We took him off Watford for £1 million, shined him up for a year, sold him on to Forest for 6-7 million. Jack Marriott came to Posh to push on to the next level. Dwight Gale came to Posh to push on to the next level. We've been doing it for years. Mikhail Smith, Boyd, Tomlin, Ryan Bennett, Joe Lewis. Even someone like Madison. Oh, it didn't really work out for him. Who was better? Gale, Assombalonga, Tony or Mikhail Smith? Tony's probably the most talented striker I've seen at Posh. He wasn't my favourite. He's not really my kind of striker. But Tony was just a level above everybody else. The other three are much more my kind of player. I love a pacey striker, and those other three are exactly that. But Tony is the best of the four. Who's next off the Peterborough striker conveyor belt? Probably, I mean, there's talk of Big Johnson leaving, although he's a little bit older than some of the others, so I'm not so sure. But the fact Marriott's back suggests Johnson might be on his way. Ricky J. Jones obviously has a lot of fuss about him in Football Manager, at least. So Ricky J. Jones could be the next. Jack Marriott, second time around. Mo Isa will go down to League One, I think. I think we're done with him. He's one who hasn't really worked out. Who would be my dream realistic signing for Peterborough? That's the thing with Posh. Most of the time we don't know, because we find the players that you've not heard of yet. If it was somebody that I could name now as a dream realistic signing, just the fact that I can name them now means actually probably they're not the dream signings. They're not our kind of signing. Just trust the club to pick the right ones. George Grant from Lincoln was a great signing. Josh Knight from Leicester, great signing. Jack Marriott, just because we know what he's capable of, great signing. Those three players, massive. Okay. Right, we're going to go back to the attacking system for this game. Where's Stobbsy? Stobbsy's injured. This is no good. Posh like Arsenal when Wenger went there. Got players you never heard of. Maybe. It's not quite the same. It's the Brentford model. We've been doing it for years as well. They were just better at it than we were. But there was... What's going on out there? There was a time in the not too distant past where Brentford were taking our rejects. If we've got any Brentford players in, I remember Tamani Diagaraga wasn't good enough for us.
I don't want this one.
What do you mean?
Oh.
What have you spent money on? Can't see. Anna has bought... What is this? Stain remover.
Yeah, for the carpets.
Nice. Is that what all the noise was out there? You opening a package? Okay. Well, the other package that's out there, the one for me, is dishwasher cleaner. We're both so cool. I'm not sure. It might be in that box as well. Is Harrison Burrows actually good? Yes. He hits a beautiful cross. Being in London probably helps Brentford convince people to sign for them. I mean, Peterborough's not far from London, though. Peterborough's 45 minutes from London on the train. It's not a big deal. Diagaraga was absolutely terrible for Leeds. But we had him in League One, released him, and Brentford, who were also in League One with us at the time, he went to Brentford on a free transfer from us. Wasn't good enough for us, but went straight into their first team. So... I mean, that was within the last 7 or 8 years. Brentford weren't as good as we are. And we were already doing this transfer policy then. But then Mark Warburton went in there with his business brains. And obviously the chairman they've got there. That's all worked out very nicely. You had to pick your favourite Posh player in each position. Who you have what? players that we have. I'd just pick the current first 11. Posture check and hydration. Why don't you go back to Peterborough if the kids are out? You can go to London every time you want, and housing is probably cheaper. Because I lived in Peterborough for nearly 40 years. I want something new. And that 45-minute train into King's Cross is fine, but then you've then got to get to wherever you're going from King's Cross. So every time I needed to go and do something in London, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours each way, which is why I spent so much time staying in London. I spent months in hotels and Airbnbs in London the year before lockdown happened. I mean, I literally spent thousands of pounds staying in London. If I'd have taken all of my hotel and Airbnb costs from trips to London and train costs, if I'd have taken all those costs and added it onto the rent we were paying in Peterborough, we could have just about afforded rent in London. That's how much I was spending on travelling to and from London and staying overnight in London. It was absurd. It wasn't really going to cost us much more money to move. Posh owned by a stats company like Brentford. No, that's why they're better at it than we are. For us, it's more of a club philosophy thing, whereas for Brentford, it's they've got the philosophy, but then they've got the brain to back it up. Whereas we've just kind of had this idea as a club that we sign players who are young and hungry. It's been what Darren McAntony's talked about for 15 years. Young and hungry, young and hungry, young and hungry. Bring them in young and hungry, sell them on at a profit. That's always been the plan. But we get it wrong sometimes because we don't have the stats company. Have I heard of Trabzonspor? Yes. Are you going to do a Peterborough save at FM22 now they're promoted? Probably not. I mean, I might do it on Twitch briefly for a season or two. But I can't imagine I'll do much because, like you say, they've been promoted. It's less of an interesting save now we're in the Championship. It's a much shorter save. Peter are playing football the FM way. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's so fun to be a Posh fan. He is wearing a different colour kit to the rest of his team. In fact, we've got the kit glitch going on. We're playing against two different teams at the moment, everybody. Oh, they've got Martel Taylor Crossdale. That feels like cheating. But we are playing against two different teams, so in our defence, it's a triple threat match and we're losing it. In fact, that's 3 different kits. It's a fatal 4-way. What is going on here? I've never seen 3 different kits for one team before. Why do you think the match engine is poor in FM? It's not. How could they improve it? Do you mean like improve the graphics and stuff? I don't think they need to. This is good enough. It doesn't ever need to be any better than this. It's not FIFA. This is absolutely fine. Because what you've got to remember, Football Manager doesn't have many licenses. At the moment, they get away with using real player names because they have the FIFA Pro license. So they can use the data that they get from FIFA Pro, but they can't use player likenesses and stuff. So if you start improving the graphics so that you, like, if you have it so that you can see what these players look like you can in FIFA, straight away they're getting sued. Because you can, yes, you can have a player called Cristiano Ronaldo in your game, but you can't have Cristiano Ronaldo in your game. They're 2 different things. So they are kind of limited, and the same goes for things like the kits. Well, how accurate can you make the kits when you don't have the licenses? So you have to keep it back at a certain level and keep it abstract so that you get around the licensing problem. Because Brentford couldn't compete with the Premier League team on youngsters, we closed down our youth academy and ploughed the money into our B team instead. Thought it would release Premier League players and foreigners. Yeah, that's Posh have kind of gone the other way. We've ploughed loads of money into our academy. Be interesting to see if it works. Any tips to grow the league reputation? When you get players who aren't good enough for you anymore, sell them to your team rivals relatively cheap. Growing a league's reputation isn't about you doing well. It's about getting everyone else to do well as well. And the way to do that is to sell your players to your divisional rivals. Which teams am I considering making an FM22 save with? I think we're doing Brackley as the starting team for non-league to legend, or it might be Leamington. I've got to get a map out and figure out which one's actually closer to my house. And then I'll probably do Arsenal for the beta. And that's it. We'll perhaps do Posh on Twitch initially. And then once one of them is finished, figure out what we're going to do next. Shooting straight at the keeper really triggers me. So I need to improve on the way a player finishes or the way a keeper saves. Players shoot straight at the keeper in real life all the time. I think the trap a lot of people fall into is comparing it to FIFA rather than comparing it to football. If you, and believe me, this is what they do at SI, if you look at the statistics for how many shots are straight at the keeper, you can guarantee one of the major things they're testing for on this match engine is, are they getting the same amount of shots straight at the keeper that you get in real life? Are the averages working out right? And you can be damn sure they are. Now, what the issue might be, rather than the match engine not replicating football properly, because it does, it might be more a case of the highlights maybe need to be a bit more selective and not show you some of the stuff that's a bit pointless. Because sometimes you get some highlights that are just dross. Come on, Alfie. Grantham's performance in the league is concerning me. Alfie, you're playing below this league. You dingbat. That's concerning me. See FIFA copying FM adding Creator Club in their career mode. It would be mad not to. FIFA copy FM every year. Is career mode still all purple so it looks like FM? I loved it last year when they added the 2D view to career mode. I send all my great young players on loan to domestic clubs and sell players who aren't good enough for cheap. Yeah, that makes sense. Just keep doing that. I'll get there eventually. Yeah, FM's painstakingly tested to make sure it replicates football. That's why every time something ridiculous happens in real life, people complain about in FM, Miles is there on Twitter blaming the match engine. So all these own goals in the Euros, Miles has been all over that. Because obviously people moan about silly own goals. That one Pedri scored for Spain. That was... You see stuff like that happen in FM and everyone's like, this never happens. Well, it happened in the Euros. Spain did it. And I bet it happens as often in real life as it does in FM. It just feels like it's more often in FM because you would never do that playing FIFA. Anna's just sent... Oh, Anna's telling me to do shopping. Yeah, I need to do the shopping. Remind me when the stream ends. I need to put our Tesco order in for the morning. I thought the own goal went down to Pedri. Shows how much attention I pay to what the commentators are saying and what comes up on the screen. I saw Pedri play a pass back and it ended up in the back of the net. I thought it went down as an own goal to him. Right, I don't know what system to play because Amber Bridge are not very good. but we haven't won with the 4-2-4 for ages. And we did beat Southport with the 4-4-2. Southport are third in the league. But that's because we just went there and counter-attacked, whereas this lot I think we need to go there and beat. Boston are second in the league, that's why they beat us. Amber Bridge I think we should be able to beat with a 4-2-4. So we're going to use the 4-2-4. Play the Ring of Fire. Could you make a save where you control two teams? I mean, you could. I wouldn't. I don't really get why you would want to. Oh, this hay fever is doing my head in. My itchy hands are back now. I'm still not sure whether it's hay fever or side effects of my new tablets. But either way, I claw my hands constantly and make them bleed, which is not good. So we need to get the hand cream on. So far this evening, you've seen me put on makeup, put on hand cream, take 3 different types of hay fever medication. Do I need to take you with me to the toilet? Is there any other bodily functions? I've sneezed, I've coughed. I mean, I could go and fetch a bedpan and do a poo on camera if you want. I say I could go and fetch a bedpan. I don't own a bedpan. I wouldn't actually be able to go and fetch one right now unless I went and burgled the hospital. But that would probably would take longer than the stream has left on it. Yeah, I'm drinking a horrible drink. I'm having to drink cherry Pepsi because I've got no Diet Coke in the house, which is one of the reasons why I really need to do the shopping. To get some Diet Coke in. That's when you know things are getting desperate. Come on, boys. We need a win here. You want me to put some aftershave on? I could get some aftershave. Do I like Dr. Pepper? I love Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper Zero is probably my favourite soft drink. Any pan is really a bedpan. That's my kind of attitude. I like that. Transfer special, but with the Tesco order. I mean, it wouldn't be very interesting. Oh, no. I can't lose against these jokers. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Come on, boys. We're going to attack him. That is an interesting pass that somehow has come off. But Fisher bottles it. Scouting for the right kind of mushrooms on the Tesco delivery site. I don't know, folks. I'm a big fan of closed cup mushrooms, but these button mushrooms, although they won't have as much flavour, they are on buy one, get one free offer this week. So do I want the quantity of button mushrooms or the quality of closed cup? If we had more of a transfer budget, we could get ourselves some shiitakes. Is this the kind of content you're here for? Because you know I love a mushroom. Are we ever going to score? How are we not scoring in this game? It's infuriating. Come on now. Come along. Let's do a football. Do I prefer high or low tempo? I like a high tempo game. I tend not to fiddle with that kind of stuff too much, though. You can get too fiddly with doing all that faffing about. I mean, changing him isn't going to make much of a difference, is it? Come on, boys. Do a goal for old Kev. Let's encourage them. Yeah, you can play a high tempo with lower league teams. Because they might not be as good at pressing, but the opposition aren't as good at handling pressing. So, I mean, unless you're with a terrible team playing against Juventus, you'll be all right. You're playing against teams relative to you, aren't you? Right, we're now playing 24th place Merthyr. We've got to beat them. We've got to attack. We're sticking with the 4-2-4, even though it's not really working. If we lose again, we're in trouble again, I think. Although it is now a 10-point gap. We're in terrible form, but we are actually creeping away from the relegation zone still. Do I think Kane will go to City? I think they'd be insane to sign Grealish and Kane, having seen Sir Gareth not really use them together very much at the Euros. I think you go for one or the other. And they seem to be getting linked more strongly with Grealish at the moment. So it's interesting. Is Timothy Fosu-Mensah for a stopgap player fine for the Prem? I have no idea. No idea at all. Right, we have a poor dressing room atmosphere. Oh, God. How has this happened? What have we done here? Well, the dressing room atmosphere is poor because you're all idiots. Stop being morons, and then that will sort the dressing room atmosphere out. Obviously. Start winning football matches. Right, if we don't win this match, we are in trouble. Prepare the Ring of Fire. We will resort to it second half if things aren't going well. Prepare the Ring of Fire. Get out of my club. Get out of here. We need to get rid of all these jokers who don't want to be here. I mean, Worsfold having a grumpy on is a problem. Because he's a senior player. See, I might just release him. Because he's got 6 players agreeing with him. He's being a bit of a ringleader. As a senior player. Just going to release him. Bit of an extreme reaction. But I think it starts to help this situation a little bit. Stobbsy's back. That's important. Come on, Stobbsy. Right, come on, boys. We've got to win here. Is the board takeover thing common? I've had no rumours in any of my saves, no matter how much I've grown the club. It depends. It varies from club to club. Some club owners have it hard-coded into the game that they don't leave. Whereas some clubs, they get a takeover every 3 or 4 years. Come on, boys. Come on now. Oh, if we don't win this one, it's a disaster. So YouTube channel makes my day. Thank you very much. Keep in mind, I just got to Champions League semi-final. That's probably why I had my second takeover in a year. I don't think I've ever seen a second takeover in a year before, but it's quite impressive. I'm still waiting for one day that I'll get the Tycoon takeover that I've still never had. I can dream. Danny Ings is wanted by Spurs. I mean, he scored goals last year, didn't he? But it does seem like a strange move. He's the same age as Kane, isn't he? They should be looking for someone who's actually a longer term replacement. It always surprises me to see clubs think that short term. I don't want a player for the next 3 or 4 years. I want someone who's going to be all right for the next 10 years and is going to have good resale value. But clubs don't think the way I do in Football Manager, it seems. Here we go. Here we go. Got my first takeover 19th of March 2031. Second, the 38th of May. That's impressive. What position do I think Posh will get into the next season? I hope we can avoid relegation. I don't know if we can. I hope we can. It's been a long time since we've been in the Championship. I don't know what the standard's like. We will see. Will you be able to play the Euros at the start of FM22? No. I don't think so anyway. I'm not angry, just disappointed. I like it. I mean, this is a terrible result if this happens, so we are going to pull out the Ring of Fire. We're going for it. Here we go then, boys and girls. Ring of Fire. Sometimes you just have to go extreme. More. Come on. Somebody do a football, for goodness sake. Here we go. Here we go. This is how the Ring of Fire works. But you've got to apply the finish. Oh, you've got to finish that. That's a big, big chance. We're ahead on XG. It's infuriating. Why are we not doing anything? Come on. There's got to at least be a late equaliser in this. This lot are so poor, they're not even scoring against us when we've got no midfield. But we're in such poor form and poor morale, it doesn't matter. We just can't hit the target. This is what poor morale does to a team in FM. You might as well not put a team out because they'll just play poorly until you fix the morale. But often you can't fix the morale until they win games. So you get yourself into this. This is how you get into a poor form spiral that leads to you getting sacked. Oh dear. Oh dear, that's a terrible run of form. Right, we go back to the 4-4-2. It's the last thing we used that actually worked. We just grind out draws for the rest of the season if we have to. We've got 16 games left. If we draw half of them, we stay up. So let's play boring football. We need to get rid of these players. They won't leave. Another team meeting. They're not going to like this. We've got too many team meetings. I thrilled them and now I'm going to pump my fists. Have I just done the team meeting that we needed? No. It's made no difference at all. We need to head to the clip and climb. We need a big enough gap to play against the reserves or someone. We need to get some friendlies in. against teams we can beat, like Bourne. And Melton. Hopefully they'll bring us some pork pies over. Put some of them into the reserves. That's not a bad shout. Get all these guys out the first team squad. Apart from Fennel. I want Fennel around because he tastes delicious. Right, that's moved us up to poor. That's an improvement. How do I convince this guy that we didn't sign that other guy to replace him? Look at how much football he's playing. We haven't got any reserves. We haven't got anyone to bring up. We now have 4 players in the reserves because we've just put them there. Remember, this team was basically a blank canvas at the start of the season. See, Bourne have got the right logo in this save. I don't know why in the Born in the USA save, Bourne UK have the wrong logo. When on every other save, they have the one we made. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. We have exactly 16 players. That's all you need. Why would you need more than 16 players? We've already done the praising the conduct thing. It didn't really make much of a difference. What we need is a couple of big results in these friendlies. We'll probably lose this one. Although the last time we played away from home against someone any good, we ground out a 1-0. So you never know. Come on, boys. Let's just have a really uneventful 0-0 draw. That's all we need. I hate playing for boring results, but needs must. We showed in that last game we can't score goals, so our only hope is not to concede them, which is such an anti-Kev way to play football. Could I make a hashtag United save? I mean, I could. I probably wouldn't. I mean, Spencer does it every year, doesn't he? And if someone wants to watch a hashtag United save, they'll probably watch Spencer doing it rather than me. Have I ever thought about doing the San Marino challenge? No, because it'd be really boring content. It would be like an extreme version of Apollon, and Apollon had moments where it was pushing it a little bit. As much as I loved the Apollon save, there was... You lot didn't have to sit through all of the league football I had to sit through. For the last 10 years of Apollon, you were pretty much only watching the Champions League. I was the mug who had to sit through us winning every league game 6-0. So boring. Why don't you check captain or vice captain and see if they can help with morale? Because you don't need to. You don't need to go to that extreme. Is this the hardest start to a save? No, I've had much harder starts than this. It's just not a very good team. We knew that. The reputation of the club was low. I expected a struggle, but we're not in the relegation zone. I mean, I know a lot of you are used to seeing me win the league first time of asking, but this is massively overachieving for this club. We're doing all right. I'm happy with how things are going because we're not going to get relegated. Yeah, we're above the Kev ratio for a team that was supposed to get relegated. That's fine. That's doing all right. It would be nice if we could grab a late goal, but Kers and Ashton are up in the playoffs and we're narrowly losing against them. We're not doing too badly. We could grab a goal here and get an incredibly important point. Come on, let's just grab a goal. Any old goal. Give me a penalty or something. Any old goal will do. We're now doing deep crosses that don't even make it into the penalty area. That's when you know they're probably a little bit too deep. Oh, God. Does anyone want a goalkeeper? One careful owner, but I am done with him. Because how has this happened? Oh, God. Well. Who's better FM21, me or Zealand? Me. Also, you and him should make a video playing Championship Manager or any old FM game he hasn't played, but you have. I mean, we've done enough times playing the current FMs and I beat him every time. So... if he ever learns how to beat me at FM21, then I'll play him at an older version. Who's better at FM, me or Ben? Me. There's no one better than me. Just look at who's won 6 showdowns and who hasn't. Spoilers, I've won 6. None of them have. But yeah, Zealand in particular, I smash on a regular basis. Well, that didn't really work. Let's use the attacking system against Bourne and hope we can score some goals in this friendly. Bourne need to do us a favour here. Otherwise, we've got a real problem. Because as much as a win in a friendly will be a big difference maker, if we go and lose in this friendly, it's a disaster. If EGX goes ahead this year, are you going? Probably. Because I imagine if it goes ahead, it will be safe to go ahead. In which case, yeah, I'll go. Right, come on. 3 or 4-0 at least. I actually thought we'd lost there because I saw the Bourne logo. 3-1. I mean, at least it's a win. It's got us up to average. That's got to help. Wins are wins. I think we'll go through and do the conduct thing again before this next game. Needs must. We've only got 16 players. We can sit and do that to all of them. Can I go on a coaching course yet? I still haven't gone on one. If they argue with me this time, my answer is, well, I'm trying to turn this ship around. I need a coaching course to be able to do it. Right. Today is the day to praise conduct. Let's get this morale sorted out. Guy's 6'5" with a flat top. He's got to be good. It's not making any difference, is it? Because you can do this too often. But this isn't really making any difference, I don't think. It started to go wrong when we gave players longer contracts. They had nothing to play for then. No reason to be any good because they're here for the next few years picking up a salary anyway. Come on, Stubbsy. You need to be the one who picks yourself up and sorts everybody out. You're Stubbsy, for goodness sake. Come on. Couple more. Couple more and we're there. Separating those miserable jokers from the first team squad as well hopefully helps. Everybody gets a tickle. Last one. Boom. Hit continue. Praise some more and see if it's affected dynamics. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. It's so crucial that we win this game, though. It's the team directly above us. We've got to win this match. Ugh. No, we can't do team bondings. We're only part-time. I mean, I guess we could take a training session out, but that's then going to cause fitness problems. Since you've been playing low league FM for so long, what can I do if I get stuck in Serie B, losing the playoff semi-final? Have you watched the Born save? Sometimes you'll just struggle and come back stronger next year. Just keep plugging away at it. Check mentoring groups. I doubt we'll even have any. It's such a small squad. That's not really something to worry about at a club like this. Come on. What is a Grantham Town FC? I mean, it's a football team. It's a football team. I assumed that would be clear from context. Oh, that would have been a disaster if that had gone in. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Encouragement. 5 minutes in and I'm already encouraging him. There you go. Stubbsy just needed encouragement. Come on. He's in here. Oh, we're never going to score again. We are never going to score a goal again. Ever. When was the last time we scored a goal? I'm so sad. Jackson has held on to a ball, though. This is progress. That would have been a goal in the last match. Oh, look, it's NordVPN's birthday. You should probably help them celebrate by checking out the excellent deal that they've got on the best VPN in the business. Exclamation mark NordVPN down in the chat. Go and treat yourself to a VPN. You're worth it. I think that's their tagline. Come on, boys. Our only hope at left back with the throw. Stubbsy has scored a goal. Oh, we can turn this ship around. Oh, we can turn this ship around. Oh, my word. Ding, 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 indeed. Jones is a broken man because he wasn't really fit to play in the first place, but we've got no players. What made me choose Grantham? I holidayed forward a year and picked one of the newly promoted teams, and this was the most interesting one. They were the lowest reputation, I think, of the 9 that came up, and they're near where I used to live, and we go to Grantham quite regularly because Andy likes the church there. So yeah, lots of reasons to pick Grantham. It was mainly, the main thing was it was going to be the hardest one. And I wanted a challenge. It's certainly proving to be a challenge. We're still leaving Jones on. He's only here on loan. It doesn't matter if we break him. That can be somebody else's problem. Another good save from Jackson. I know you probably wouldn't class that as a save, but he would have conceded that in the last game. He's getting his confidence back. Jones out to Stubbs. Come on, boys. That's a lovely through ball to absolutely nobody. He almost got on the end of it himself because Campbell just not even alert to what's going on. Even when he saw the ball played, he didn't decide to go out there and chase it. We are still rubbish, but we are winning. Come on, boys. How did the last save end? I just stopped loading it. Is it a good idea to scout Brazil under 18s and others to find wonder kids? You shouldn't need to scout them specifically. If you've got good scouts, just let them do their thing and they'll find the good ones. What's the hardest club and easiest club in all my FMs? Hardest was Tor in Non-League to Legend a few years ago because they were already bottom of the league. We got in after the transfer window had closed and they had no goalkeepers. So oddly, we got relegated. Easiest, probably, I don't know. Oh, we needed that own goal. Insert any Premier League beta team here. I guess they're all easy. Managing in the Premier League is easy peasy. This is exactly the kind of goal we needed. Look at this. Campbell again, not very good. Lovely finish from their defender though. We're actually 2-0 up in a football match against a team near us as well. This is massive. 40 points. I mean, really, we'd want 40, 45, 50 to be really, really safe in a 24-team league. 40 is what you go for in the Premier League, isn't it? We probably need to be aiming closer to 50. 50 is very, very safe. 45 will probably be okay. 40, probably not so much. Is Karamoko Dembele a good player? It depends who you manage him and whether you need him or not. Rather than asking me, you're better off asking your own scouts. They'll know better than me if he would make a difference at your club. Right, come on, boys. Don't mess this up for me. I've got to take Jones off, haven't I, at this point? We don't have another wide midfielder to play there, so we'll just stick a central midfielder up there and hope. Oh, don't mess this up from here, boys. We need this. But once again, players are getting tired as the game goes on. Oh. We're not going to drop mentality back. We're just going to play players in their own positions and just get an extra man in the midfield. Come on, we really, really, really need this 3 points. What team do I support? The mighty Peterborough United. I ordered the 4-hour work week today. It will change your life. It changed my life. The reason I get to do this as a job now is because I read that book. I survived in the Prem on 38 points. Nice. Right, come on, boys. Our only hope. Oh, here we go. Stobbsy. Oh, I thought he was sticking it top corner. If Stobbsy scores, then build a statue. Because that keeps us in National League North. Alas, it doesn't go in. And now Hensford have probably got one last attack. We just need to keep them at bay. Come on, boys. Jones heads clear, and it's with Stobbsy again. And surely now, he just lumps it forward. Fennel! Oh, I just want to taste him again. What will happen if I get relegated? I'll get sacked. Because we haven't got the league below loaded. So I'll get sacked and we'll end the save. But we ain't getting relegated. I don't get relegated. Joseph Bryant, thank you very much for the sub. Look at that, 36 points after 32 games, comfortably ahead of the Kev ratio, 9 points clear of the drop, with 14 games left to play. We are fine. We're going to be fine, and we are going to end the stream there, boys and girls. Remember, I am back 7 o'clock on Thursday for the charity stream to War Child, where we've got goodies to give away. We're trying to raise a lot of money for charity, and we are going to be doing a one-off little bit of playing around on a custom database that SI have put together with War Child for us to have a little bit of fun with. So it's going to be fun. It's just going to be a massive transfer special, shenanigans and giveaways, and trying to raise as much money as possible for a good cause. So hopefully I'll see you all back here 7 o'clock on Thursday when we get to be on the Twitch front page for the first time. It's all very exciting, but for now, let's find somebody to raid. Who are we going to raid? Who are we going to raid? Who are we going to raid? We are going to raid Limo57. I am going to do my Tesco shopping, thank you. Limo57. Have fun over there, and I'll see you back here 7 o'clock on Thursday. I won't be going on the raid with you because I've got to do my Tesco shopping. Send my apologies over. Toodle pip, folks. Bye.